Hey everyone, the Talking Dads podcast is brought to you by Little Scholars Early Learning Center. Whether your family needs infant care, a preschool program, or before and after school care, Little Scholars' highly rated Step Up to Quality programs provide quality early childhood education at an affordable price. Visit www.littlescholars.net to get in contact with an enrollment specialist and schedule a tour of any of their 5 Lake County campuses. Here's the deal. Talking Dads fans are getting a little bonus. Mention that you heard about them through our podcast, and when you tour, and you'll receive $25 off of your registration fee. Again, that's Little Scholars Early Learning Center, where children learn, play, and grow together. We are also brought to you by FRATO GASTROPUB. FRATO was voted Best Gastropub in Cleveland in 2019 by Cleveland Magazine Silver Spoon Awards. We love FRATO. Their menu is chef-inspired, always pushing the limits of traditional pub fare. The other night I had a burger, I believe it was called the Pub Burger. It was incredible. Cooked perfectly. It was amazing. And you won't have a problem pairing your favorite item on the menu with their great selection of local craft beers, crafted cocktails, and of course, an amazing bourbon and whiskey selection. I went with the Bullet 10-year with my Pub Burger. All of this in a cozy, fun, come-as-you-are atmosphere. You can check them out at pubfrato.com and on Facebook and Instagram at FRATO GASTROPUB. Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Ian from the Talking Dads. This week's episode features Jeff Kimball, who I know from the Marine Corps. So we had an awesome time kind of reminiscing about our time in the service together, Japan and overseas and all that kind of stuff. So that was really fun. And then, of course, we talked coronavirus and then also some dad hacks and some proud dad moments with his kids. Enjoy and stay safe.
In a world where moms continue to dominate parenting authority and a father's role is minimized in society, 2 dads take on the toughest parenting topics on a weekly basis, all while drinking bourbon. They are the Talking Dads.
All right. So what's up, dude? Thanks for joining us, I think. First off, cheers. Thanks for joining us on another Zoom meeting.
Yes, sir.
So, Jeff, how we usually get started is we do a dad profile. So you kind of introduce yourself. Don't make yourself sound too good. I know that's tough, but give it a shot. And yeah, just who you are, your kids, things like that. And then we'll get started.
So I'm Jeff Kimball, United States Marine Corps. That's where I know Ian from. I have 2 kids. I have a 2-year-old named Nathan, and I have a 1-year-old named Aiden. I've been married to my beautiful bride, Letty, also goes by Bunny, for about 2 years now. Yeah, but I actually met her when I first joined the Marine Corps. So about 15 years later, I ran into her tailgating at a Rams-Chargers game. And then
rest is history.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So
That's awesome, man.
So yeah, so Jeff and I met probably 17 years ago, I think, if we do the math right.
Yeah,
maybe 16 and a half in Japan. Right?
Well, here, let me say this.
All right, go ahead.
Let me do something here because I know you guys know each other real well. So maybe I'll ask some questions and then you guys can just answer them for me.
I like that.
All right. So let's do this a little bit differently. So we got the dad profile. All right. So we got Jeff and Ian, and I'm gonna ask you guys. All right. So Jeff, obviously you're still serving, right? You said you're close. And you probably, so it's been what, 17 years? Close to retirement? It's insane. All right. So anyway, I want to ask you guys, you guys served together, right? You just said Japan, right, Ian? In Okinawa? Okay. That's awesome.
So Jeff was in for a few years before I was.
So I've been in 22 years total right now.
22.
Just under 22 years.
Okay. Wow. All right, so you guys said you were. I watched your video, your bourbon review. your novice bourbon review.
Did you watch it all the way through, though? Did you watch it all the way through?
I did. Well, actually, the first time I didn't. So Ian's like, "Did you watch it?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Did you watch it all the way through?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, I thought I did," and then I missed the last few seconds. So yeah, I did.
Good one.
That was amazing.
There's a second episode coming. It's the writers are getting together, and when they get their creative brains together, episode 2 will come out.
I like it.
I love it, man. All right. Well, so I wanted to ask you guys. So you guys both obviously you were in. You said you were in Fallujah together, right? So you guys both were in Iraq at like the peak, right, of when everything was going down, right? That was a crazy time. So for you guys, and I mean, you don't have to. I mean, I feel like you guys are comfortable with me asking these questions, right? I mean, yeah. All right. So, I mean, what the hell? So you guys met. You guys were there. What was that like for you guys? Because I mean, I have no idea. You know, talked to you a little bit about it before, but just I don't know. Maybe you guys could talk about it a little bit. Maybe be interesting to hear about.
I'll let the host.
So to back it up a little bit, so late 2003, early 2004 is when I was a young boot and went to Okinawa, and I met Jeff probably pretty quickly. I think you were a sergeant already.
Yeah.
In a different shop. So he was you were comm, right?
Yeah, I was comm guy.
Yeah, you were a comm guy, and I was a chemical guy. And so right off the bat, being a chemical guy, I had no friends. And
That's not true. That's not true.
It's 100% true. I was in a shop by myself, and I was just whatever. But somehow or another, we kind of linked up, and Jeff, I mean, he kind of showed me the ropes a little bit and put me on working parties and, all that fun stuff that sergeants do to Lance Coolies, or I think I was a Lance Corporal. I don't know. But, yeah, so we met, and like, pretty quickly after I got to the island, we received orders that we were going to go. And so from there, we kind of our whole unit went on like preparation mode. And then we went to 29 Palms and did like a workup. And then we finally went. And I think when we went, that's when Jeff and I really started, I guess, bonding or talking more, because we played poker. And so like, believe it or not, this is going to sound weird, but there is downtime. It's not downtime like you would have at home, but everyone runs on shifts. Like you're doing, aside from like patrols and things like that, where you might be gone for a few days or a week at a time or something like that. But when you're on like a secure base, there's downtime. So whenever we had downtime, if we were on the same shifts, like we would go play poker. Like we would go find whoever was playing on the fob or wherever we were at, and we would just play and play. So
there was quite a bit of poker going on then.
Oh, a ton. I mean, there's nothing to do. I mean, you think this lockdown like that we're in right now is crazy. I mean, over there, like, what did we have? These trailers that we called cans, and you would just, all right, where's the poker game at? And you'd go find whichever can, and you just go sit down and we started cleaning up. Like, I don't know, Jeff taught me a lot about, I mean, he probably taught me more about poker than anything really, but
yeah, we used to play a lot. I remember a couple times rockets coming in and the sirens would go off, but we'd still be playing, and then they open the door and be like, get under the bunkers. I'm finishing my hand. I got to finish this hand. I have a good hand right now.
This is huge. You know how much money's on the spot?
So yeah, no, it was good times.
Yeah, it was good times. Like, I remember going over there and like speaking of like rockets coming in, like I remember when we first got there, everyone was like I don't know if you were with me or not, but I remember going and they have like a separate trailer that are like the bathrooms. So I was in there, I was like brushing my teeth, and like mortars start coming in, and I'm like freaking out, because we had just got there. We did the drive from Kuwait to Iraq, and that was scary. And like, I was 19, I think.
Yeah.
So like, it was just insane. And like, there's dudes that had been there for, a year already. and they're like not even flinching at these mortars. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? And like after a month or so, not even after a couple of weeks, like it was just normal.
Become numb to it a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Insane, man.
So I'm trying to actually, while we're doing this, I'm trying to find the picture of me and him. We came up with our own group. So like he said, we were cleaning up out there. So you can't go to a bank and deposit your money.
Right.
So you'd have to go to you disperse and you could withdraw money. So we would keep our money in a little wad and have put a rubber band around it. Hence, we came up with a group called the Rubber Band Gang.
Yeah.
We had rubber bands carrying our money, but I have a nice little picture here, which I'm trying to find while we're
talking. It is
talking.
a great picture.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's just good times. I can't even manage Facebook anymore. Like, I don't even know where I look at my own pictures.
Well, that's because you're old.
But
I know.
Well, Facebook is an old man's,
That's true.
social media platform.
That's
so,
true.
Yeah, so, see, I can find my friends. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. You got to scroll through your pictures and like, you're probably like talking, about 15 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah, 15.
And I take pictures of my kids religiously and videos.
Right.
Religiously.
So. Yeah. So you guys are out there and you guys are playing poker all the time. But I mean, like you said, though, you're there and you got rockets flying, you have mortars and everything. I mean, explosions and, like Jeff or Ian said, for Jeff Ian came in and for most of the guys there, they'd already been there. So it's pretty normal, but I can imagine just what that had to be like. You said it was like scary as shit. Like you're going to the bathroom and then all of a sudden you hear that for the first time. It's like, and what's going on too, like around you. So that's insanity.
Yeah. So the way it works is like they put these bases together and there's secure perimeters out far enough that we know that they can't reach us with like mortars or whatever. And so like you learn pretty quickly that they still try like every day. It would be at the same time every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they would have guys go out there and try and hit us. And like, we knew that they couldn't hit us. So you got like numb to it a little bit.
Very much so. Hence why we didn't leave. We just
yeah.
And we're likely to run into it than to hit you.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So
meanwhile, you guys were just cleaning house. They were playing poker, so it's all good.
Yeah. I mean, the best was, I remember like when we did go on little patrols and stuff like that, like you were always going to, or not always, but a lot of times we were going to a destination, whether it was to resupply something or, whatever it was. And we would go to other camps and then we would try, oh yeah, there it is.
Look at you kids, man.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Oh man.
When I put this together, I'll put a full size picture on it.
Yeah, you gotta put that. Definitely have to do that, man.
You can I remember going to different camps and like.
Yeah, you can add that gem on there too.
Oh yeah.
You went down to Camp Schmitty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were there. Yeah, there. Yeah. Had to take showers with water bottles and all that kind of stuff. And
remember we used to get the jugs.
Yeah, that's what this picture was. The jug on top.
Yeah,
you can't really tell.
We'd build like little take 2x4s and like build them close enough that you could just put like a 5-gallon jug on top, and then you just like let the water out. Those were like fuel jugs or fuel
say hi, bud? Come on. No,
that's early. Jeff's out. You're out in California, right?
Yeah, it's only 7:45 out here.
Jeez.
Yeah. East Coasters are it's a little late.
Kids have been sleeping for a while now.
Oh yeah.
So let me ask you this. You guys rewind a minute here. So both of you guys, obviously Marines. What made you guys want to join the service? Like, what was it? I mean, I kind of know why Ian. 9/11 was pretty much what sparked it for you. Your dad was, he served in the Marines as well. So, Jeff, what made you want to be, join the service, and then why the Marines?
So, high school, it wasn't a good time for me. I skipped school a lot. I think I graduated with like a 1.52 GPA. I just didn't have my head on straight. I was skipping school, going to drink with friends, hang out with friends, didn't care. And then I was actually driving in my car one day and my dad was yelling at me. And all of a sudden I literally, like a shine of light came up and said, Armed Forces recruiting. So I pulled in the parking lot. I literally sat there for maybe 5-10 minutes just thinking, like, do I really want to do this? But if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it the best.
Yeah.
So instantly walked into the Marine recruiters and was in there for about 4 hours. I was such a punk that I didn't even tell my parents that I joined. I even went to MEPS, signed up, and I finally told them about 2-3 weeks before I shipped for boot camp because I was already 18. I didn't need them to sign for me. So the Marine Corps has done a lot to turn me around from that punk kid. I had long hair, like thought I was the coolest student in the world, and I didn't need a school. I didn't need anything. So I need somebody to whoop my butt and put me in place.
Well, I mean, that's awesome too that you like, I mean, obviously you recognize, you're like, I got to do something. And that's, like you said, you chose the best, and you obviously you're still doing it, right? I mean, you're close to retirement, and it's amazing.
Thanks.
Well, what's cool about Jeff too is he's gotten to do, I mean, I guess if you serve that long, you get to do a lot of cool different jobs, and like, so in the Marine Corps, there's kind of two paths, right? Like you can go an admin path, or you can go like a specialty path, for lack of a better term. And so Jeff, you were comm for a while, and then once you reach a certain rank, like, I don't even know how it works because I never got that high, but like, I don't know if you get to choose or if it's kind of presented to you, like whether or not you're going to get promoted. But I know Jeff switched from comms to like secret squirrel shit.
I actually did the recon screening first over there.
Oh, did you?
And then, that's what brought me over there the first time.
Oh, really?
Originally. And then, so I did the indoc at Schwab, and I was planning to lat move to 0321, sorry.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know if you remember Master Sergeant White.
Yep.
Who I ran into later was Master Sergeant White, retired now.
Gunny
when we got
White
back,
when I was there.
He
was Gunny White when I was there.
Oh, no, he picked up Master Sergeant like right when we got back.
He picked up Master Sergeant, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so me and 4 other guys went down to Hanson when the monitors were there and talked to the monitors, and he didn't like that. He said, since we didn't got our BRC yet, so I wasn't an 0321, that we don't rate it. We don't rate to do anything. But even though I had been on island for so long, that I'm disloyal. And then that's what pushed me is went home on post-appointment leave. And if you remember Matt Batley.
Yeah.
He's a good friend of mine. He got blown up out there.
Yeah.
I spent a year at the burn center. Great friend of mine. He ended up running into what's an 0211 counter-intel, human intel Marine that got injured too, and ended up lap moving. Actually, post-appointment leave, ran to him at the Cardinals baseball game of all places. I turned around, he's literally standing right behind me. So I was like, what the hell, dude? Like, he had just got released from the hospital, still had bandages all over his arms and stuff, and because he had skin grafts. But he told me about 0211, and I told him about what's happened to me, and they're saying I'm disloyal and I need to stay on the island. And he's like, dude, forget that. Come over to this job, and so that's what I did.
So. I guess I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So
0211, kind of explain what that is, or.
So yeah, I can talk about it. Just don't send this. We have a little thing in our job where if your name and your occupation are put together, I owe a case of beer to them. So we have a bar actually at work with the refrigerator. So if anybody sees this, they're gonna make fun of me, and then I had to bring a case of beer and pay everybody.
We'll pay for the case of beer then. It's our fault.
So no, counter intel, human intel is actually 2 different jobs. The Marine Corps is the only one that actually does both. So the Army's broken into 2 MOS. You either have counterintelligence or human intelligence. But the Marine Corps does both together. So you get to lat move. At the time, you have to be a sergeant E5 to lat move over. And then, so the counterintelligence part is, our job is to deceive the enemy of gaining information. So like if I have some top secret information, I'm trying to figure out how to protect that information from them. When the human side is, I'm doing the exact opposite. I'm trying to go get the information from the people. So that's why the Marine Corps makes them both, is if I'm a good human guy, I know what I'm looking for to get the information. Hence, I know how to protect it. Because if you're trying to get it, you know what works and what doesn't when they're trying to get it, and so you know how to protect it. So the Marine Corps does it both ways.
Gotcha.
Very cool. I'm surprised that they give you any kind of responsibility like that, but whatever.
You're telling me. You're telling me. So
ball busters over here.
No, we do. That's what I'm not a counterintelligence fan. Like, I love human intelligence. That's all I've done. Since I deployed with Ian, I've done 7 more deployments. Actually, the worst was way worse than even Fallujah. Was a place called Sangin, Afghanistan, with 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines. We actually took 326 casualties that tour.
Oh, crap.
It was 2010, so it wasn't as popular in the media anymore. But yeah,
Right.
So that's most are double, triple amps from all the IEDs. But now running sources, paying sources for information, it's a fun job. I mean, it's a good job.
That's awesome.
Man, so I guess you guys specialized in then, right? So I was trying to think of other questions I had for you guys. Trying to get some information out of you too, E. So I kind of, touched on why you joined E.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, your dad is a Marine, and so you.
I know that.
I've asked you this before, and I feel like the question was like, did you join because your dad was, and you had said like your reason was because.
Well, yeah, it's kind of hard to say, like when I was, junior and senior in high school. So 9/11 was what, junior year?
That was our junior year, yeah.
Yeah. So it was kind of one of those things where it was, the way I remember it was that happened, and it was right around that time that everyone was taking their like SATs and stuff like that for college. And the night before my SAT, I got bombed and woke up late and didn't make it on time to take my SAT, and, lost the money for that SAT and all that kind of stuff. So I was just like, fuck it. Like, this was kind of cool. I remember I'd already talked to the recruiter, just kind of as in like let's see if this could be cool, like, whatever. And then once that kind of happened with the SAT stuff, I was like, you know what? Let's just do it. I think that I need this. But then looking back on it, it was like my dad definitely groomed me,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, I think that you or anyone else that we grew up with would agree that I don't think it was ever forced on me, but I was definitely more prepared than anyone that I was in my boot camp platoon. Like, I knew what a tornado was, and I knew,
I think even we did, just from your dad.
You guys all definitely knew. You guys would have been more prepared than most guys, going into boot camp. But I don't know. I think that just the timing of everything and just how it played out worked for me. I was a okay student, but I definitely didn't try. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I think I ended up with like a 2.8 or 2.9 GPA, and I could have been.
Why are we bragging, Ian? Why are we
bragging? Well, you gotta bring that up, bro.
Listen, Jeff, we know that I'm a lot smarter than you. Like, that's not.
Well, that's a given. That's a given, man.
No, but like I could have been much better. I mean, it was the same thing even in sports. Like Steve and I played baseball together since we were like 4 years old. And I remember in like 9th or 10th grade tryouts, I had an attitude because we went to tryouts and they wanted you to try out for every position. And I was like, no, I'm a catcher or I'm a third baseman. I do one of two things. I'm a catcher or a third baseman. That's it. And they're like, no, you need to go shag balls in the outfield. I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. Like, and they're like, all right, well, you didn't make the team then. Get the fuck out of here. Like, I was just kind of an asshole like that. And I mean, I still kind of am, but I think, as Jeff kind of said, like that reining you in and that shock, right? Like that 13-week shock of discipline and holy shit, like you're not the center of the universe.
Wake up call. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a wake up call. It makes you grow up real freaking quick. Because then right after that, I mean, I went to school and then I went to a unit and, they made me sign for like $8 million of equipment that I was responsible for at 18 years old. It's like, what? Like less than a year ago, I was,
You grew up real fast when you get a lot of responsibility and you're responsible for all that gear. Like he said, like you grew up real fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. They put it on you quick. That's insane, man. That's what it is.
I mean, you got 18-year-old kids that are in charge of making sure F-18s are not falling out of the sky.
Right.
I mean, and these are kids that are considered like I can't go to college, I can't do whatever.
Right.
No, that's wrong. Like
it's
these kids
pretty
are
insane how
fixing jets and
yeah.
It's crazy that you find your niche though, right? I mean, it makes you figure it out. And like you said, there's 18-year-old kids that like before that were not doing shit, or like we're just kind of trying to figure out what they wanted to do, or like you said, like they just didn't think they were good for college, or they just, you know what I mean? Like it was just like they were trying to figure it all out, and then all of a sudden you're like, boom, you're working a professional job. That's like going out of high school and going straight to any job and just being like, here, you have to do everything, just figure it out. Like, I mean, they groom you for it, obviously, and they train you, but it's
amazing
still,
how they train
how quickly
people.
Yeah,
it's insane because like just kind of like how just to reiterate, like when you go to boot camp, it's a mix of anywhere from like I was 17, but it's usually like 17 or 18 all the way up to like 22, 23-year-olds. And like they're all guys that either, number one, they weren't getting like a scholarship to go anywhere, you know, so they weren't like academically or athletic.
There's a lot of stories of people, I gave up this, and
there's a lot of
That's why if you hear most of my stories, like I have pictures to prove it. I have pictures.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you know, but even if there is those, like those are few and far between, and I don't want to take anything away from, because there are people that gave up a lot to go serve, you know, and I think that's amazing. But for most of us, it was just kind of like either we were self-aware that like we were on the wrong path, or somebody else pushed us that way, and we said, oh, I can go be a Marine, like get 3 hots and a cot, you know, like it's kind of just like forced, you know, things are taken care of and you get a paycheck, and especially if you're young, like 18 years old, I mean, we all grew up playing GI Joes and, you know, stuff like that, and you're kind of like, oh, this could be badass, you know.
And
it was, dude, like for all the misery that I remember more of the good times, you know what I mean? Like it was so much fun. It did so much. I mean, I talk about it all the time, like especially with my business and everything else. Like I owe all of that to what I learned in the Marine Corps. Not so much from what I learned from Jeff, but you know.
Here we go.
So I don't know if you know
any chance that I can.
You know, I got out of the Marine Corps though, right? Once.
Oh, that's right, you did.
Yeah, so I got out and actually came back in. So I joined in '98, and then I got out and went to college and joined a fraternity. Was doing the whole partying.
That's right. I forgot about
thing.
That.
And then like it hit me like I had never done deployment yet. So like I just got that feeling like I didn't do my job as a Marine. So literally just one day I got out of class, which I was actually getting good grades then, Marine Corps.
Yeah.
Thank you. Just went to our Marine recruiters and I was like, hey, how do I get back in? And then came back in, and then fate had it, went out to Okinawa. That's actually where I got out from. And then that's where I met Ian too. So
yeah.
But when I got out,
crazy,
I had a bad attitude getting out though. Did you know I got in trouble for hazing? Did you ever know that?
I'm shocked by that.
I know. I actually just found my old SRB, and I was reading. So, dude, I was getting up for court martial.
Really?
I was a corporal at the time, yeah. And so the people who are above me, who hazed me when I first came in, like since I got caught doing it, that they treated me like an outcast. So it gave me a bad attitude. So that's why I was like, you know what, I'm done. I'm out of the Marine Corps. But that's why I came back in later. But
well, that kind of stuff happens though too, because I remember actually, I think around the time that I got out, I was talking to you about the counter intel stuff, because I remember taking a written test and an interview. So I was trying to re-enlist. So I was back in Iraq, and I was talking to a monitor about either re-enlisting as counter intel or EOD.
Yeah.
You know, at the time, my dad was a Lake County Bomb Squad here, you know, back over here. Awesome. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, it'd be kind of cool thing to do, like kind of what my dad does now, or I could do counter intel. So I was taking all these tests and doing all this stuff, and I had to get a bunch of waivers because I was only a corporal, and it was like, all right, well, if you pick up, you can re-enlist as this and that, you know, whatever. There was all these things, right? And bottom line is I had to re-enlist in order to do it. and it was time. I was in country, and I was like, all right, well, let's do it. And we were scheduled to go home like a month later, and they wouldn't let me re-enlist in country. And so all these bonuses that would have been tax-free, they wouldn't let me do it in country. Like, well, we can do it when you get back to 29 Palms. And I was like, no, that's a lot of freaking money that I'm going to lose, you know?
Dude, you just brought back some memories when you said 29 Palms.
Oh, I know. Well, we could talk about 29 Palms, yeah.
I remember you just taking off for Vegas for a 24-hour trip and then coming back the next morning and
awesome.
back at work.
That was awesome.
But go ahead, sorry.
I did hear a few of those stories.
Yeah. But
by the way, I just broke in my first sip.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
I saved some so I can do a review on it.
There you go.
Yeah.
I got the Four Roses.
Next review.
So the creative minds, my wife knows. She laughs at me while I'm videotaping them, but I've done it several times. The creative juices.
I like it. But yeah, no, I mean, I remember not being able to re-enlist in country put a bad taste in my mouth. And so I was like, from that, I had no plan, dude. Like, I remember I was like, fuck it, I'm out, you know? And I moved to Vegas, actually.
Yes, I remember.
That was a mistake, probably, but
it's because Jeff was a bad influence. Jeff taught you all the tricks to poker, so you're like, oh.
No, this guy was making hand over fist when he knew me. And then he got all domesticated, moved to the Midwest, and look at him now.
Right.
Drinking
I remember I had that
doing
place.
Podcasts.
I remember I had that place in Vegas, and you used to come out and see me.
Yeah, it was off of Stephanie.
Yeah.
Road.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, right in Henderson. But
Yeah.
I remember the one time I was actually here in Cleveland.
I knew this was coming up.
So Jeff calls me and he's like, "Hey, dude, I'm coming to Vegas." And I'm like, "Well, dude, I'm going to be gone that weekend or whatever." And I was like, "Well, here, I'll leave you a key, and you can just stay at my place or whatever." And he's like, "All right, cool." And I don't know if you were by yourself or if there was other people with you. I can't remember the situation.
No, I was by myself. I had friends staying at a hotel.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to stay on the strip.
Yeah. Okay. And Steve, you know, in Vegas, how like you're walking and there's somebody that like with the little cards.
Oh yeah.
All the hookers.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so I come back like, I don't know, like a week later, and like the place was all locked up. It was fine. You know, I walk in and I have a whole wall in my apartment plastered with these cards, like wallpapered, dude. Like there must have been 1,000 of these freaking things that he
find 1,000 on
like,
the street.
how much like you spent your entire weekend?
We walked the whole strip just getting those cards and sticky packets, wallpapering his whole wall with her.
It was amazing. I wish I had a picture of that because it was.
I wish you had a picture of that. That'd be.
What's this time? You know when you say like you'll laugh about this later?
Yeah.
That's what we're doing now because he was.
Oh, I was pissed, dude. I lost my security deposit.
He called me and was like flipping out and like, "You did this?" I said, "Dude, it's hilarious." He would. Cheers.
Yeah.
You were laughing.
Look at this.
That was
How
awesome.
many years later you're laughing about it? See?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I lost my security deposit because I didn't know enough how to like drywall and nothing, you know. It was awesome.
That's amazing, man. All right, so.
But did you call in those numbers? Is what I'm curious about.
No.
Yeah. No.
Definitely.
It's on video, right?
Right.
So Ian, you mentioned this before too, and both of you guys, like, what do you know, being a Marine, what do you credit to the Marines, like, to what you like made you guys what you are today, like as even as fathers and just as men in general, like, what is like, I mean, Ian, you kind of touched on a little bit about being like the daycares and everything like that, and kind of you credit a lot to that. So.
Well,
yeah.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Go ahead, Jeff.
No, I was gonna say no, the same. Like I owe the Marine Corps everything. Like honestly, and I'm not one of those oorah people that walk the streets and oorah this and oorah that. Actually, most of the time in my job, we go by first names. Like I'll show you pictures. Like for a while, I hadn't shaved in 3 years. Like with my job, I never put a Marine Corps uniform on. Yeah. I always worked in civilian clothes and stuff like that. So I'm not like the typical oorah high and tight Marine. Well, now it's shaved.
Well, yeah, well, I mean,
so like, but no, the Marine Corps did immense things for me because like I was just a punk, and like all my friends that didn't do anything now are still back they're drug addicts or just drinking or working at Subway as like 39 and 40-year-old men. Like, but now Marine Corps, I speak, read and write Mandarin Chinese. They sent me to a 1.5-year school for that. I got all these trades. I got a lot of things. And I was just about to tell Ian earlier is now the Marine Corps is so awesome. Like when I'm transitioning out, there's this thing called Skill Bridge, which in 2 months, so I don't retire till December. Mm-hmm. So in 2 months, I start this thing called Skill Bridge, a Microsoft course, where I just go to school for the next 5 months. I'm still getting paid. I'm active duty Marine, but I don't put a uniform on. I'm just a college student, just so they can teach me a trait to transition out into the real world. So the Skill Bridge course, I'm taking cybersecurity. And so they're going to teach me all cybersecurity. And then there's 300 companies that like partner with this Skill Bridge course. So they'll give me one interview with any company I want. So I originally thought it was just one interview.
Yeah.
Company, Facebook or stay with Microsoft. And they're like, no, like we're just saying one interview is like, we're not guaranteeing you the company called you back for a second interview. But if you want 300 interviews, we'll give you that.
Wow.
So, I mean, I credit the Marine Corps and their programs on transitioning out.
Yeah. That's amazing because that's different than it was when I got out.
Very much so. Because the first time I got it was like, boom, here's DD-14. Deuces, you're out.
I remember we had like a class that we had to go to. It was like an hour long. And there was a couple different like recruiters like from different companies. But it was mostly, are you a psycho? And
you show up your family.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, I didn't even pay attention to any of them because I was so focused on getting out, you know. I mean, that's part of it was I was a 21-year-old kid and getting out.
Yeah.
You know? I probably should have taken that stuff more seriously because like I said, when I got out, I had zero plan. Dude, actually, like, I remember when I moved to Vegas, because I had nothing, right? I had packed up my car and another guy that got out at the same time, I can't remember his real name. I remember
Riri.
No, not him. It was the
guy
dime
Ryan
pop.
who stuttered. So we called him Riri the retard.
Yeah. Do you remember the dime poppy?
Yeah. Dude, that's who you lived with.
Yeah. We got out at the same time. This dude from Chicago, and I can't remember his real name, but we got out at the same time. And we put our money together. And it was funny.
No. Let me tell this story first.
Okay.
How he didn't give you the check to move into your place in Vegas.
Yeah.
So I helped Ian move there.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, we're like, fuck, how's he going to get the money for this?
Mm-hmm.
For the other half of the rent? Like,
no, I had the first month's rent, but I didn't have the security deposit.
Yeah, so you only had half.
Yeah.
So you're in Vegas. You go sit at the blackjack table. That's how you get the other half.
I did, man.
Yeah.
So we sit down at the blackjack table and we literally tell the blackjack dealer, no, we're literally playing for rent money. We're not joking here.
I think I had $1,200 and I needed $2,400.
Yeah. You know what happened then? We lost it all.
Yeah. I was going to say that. I was hoping for a happy ending there.
There was a happy ending. I think I took out a cash advance or something like that.
Yeah,
I think you wrote me a check and I took out a cash advance or something.
Yeah.
We got it done, but it was fun sitting down and thinking, hey, we had to gamble for our rent.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yes.
Maybe
who can say they've done that? You know, like, I mean, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so like we moved in, but I didn't have any plan. You know what I mean? Like I didn't have a job. Like I just thought, oh, well, I'll go work security at a casino or something like that. And like I didn't realize that it was still like the mob out there and like you had to know people to get a job, you know? So I went there with no plan. You know what I mean? So I think it's really cool now that what do they call it? The skill
bridge?
Skill bridge. Yeah, like that's amazing.
Not a lot of Marines even take advantage of it. They teach you it because you go to this thing called TRS transition something. Sorry, I should know it, but they just give like 20-minute brief on it. But so I mean, if you take a nap, you're gonna skip over it. But it can definitely enhance because they'll teach you anything. You want welding? There's a skill bridge for welding. There's a skill any occupation or trade you want. There's a course for it, and you had to do it. They use your GI Bill for it, which I don't care. Like you teach me a trade, and hopefully you give me a job interview.
Pays off, man.
Yeah, you're getting me a job interview because transitioning out after 22 years is nerve-wracking.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, like, all I've known is the Marine Corps. I know the 1st and 15th. I know if I get sick, I have pay and stuff like that. So you become like relying on that. You know it's
Well, and especially as a husband and a dad, I mean, like, I remember one of the aside from them not letting me re-enlist in country, one of the big reasons that I made the decision to get out was like I knew I wanted to have a family one day. And I don't know how many guys I saw, get divorced and they never get to see their kids, and it just didn't seem like the ideal situation to have a family. So at least as a 21-year-old kid, and so I remember like that was a big thing for me. It's like, well, I can, if I stay in another 4, where's that going to put me? And I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'm just going to get out, but like I think that kind of program now, especially for you, I mean, like you've got people that rely on you, you've got a family and you've got 2 kids, and so it's got to be nerve-wracking to get out. When I got out, I was just like, well, I got to take care of myself. I got to figure this out. Like,
but
you can't get
when
out.
I got out the first time, I was like, cool, man, I can crash on a friend's couch.
Right.
Exactly.
So I don't think my wife would be cool with that.
No,
yeah, not so much.
Not an option. Well, that's amazing because I mean, like you said, you speak in right Mandarin, right? I mean, you're learning all these trades and everything. That's such an amazing thing. I didn't even know they did that. That's crazy. Because like I know when Ian got out, I'm pretty sure he just came home and we just started. Like you said, we're like 21 years old, so we were just. He had a house in.
I could drink a lot.
East Lake, and we just partied, man. That's all we did was partied. It was just like all the time. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, we did that. But no, at Mandarin school, so I went to DLI. It's called Defense Language Institute in Monterey, California. And literally, the hardest thing I've almost done in the Marine Corps. Like you have to learn. You first start out learning 30 words a night, and then you go up to almost 80 words a night. The next morning, you always have a test over those new words you learned. So you learn the traditional form, how to write it, and the short form of how to write it and to speak it. And then once you learn it, they expect you to know it. So that course kicked my butt. Like
I could imagine.
All right. So since I know that you have some kind of secret squirrel clearance and Mandarin, what is going on with coronavirus? Because I feel like you should have some intel on this.
Yeah, I should, but I'm a shitty Marine, and I don't.
No, the answer is I could tell you, but I'd have to kill you or something.
That is the truth. I would have to kill you if I could tell you.
That's where he's texting you right now.
Right.
So it's a big collusion with China trying to take over the world. So they fed some people some bats.
Right. Yeah.
And that's about it.
This stuff is crazy, though. I mean,
insane.
My in-laws have it. They live right across the street from where I'm staying right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
How are they
getting
doing?
better. They're good now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it's pretty nerve-wracking when I'm renting this house right now. We're actually moving back up to my house next month, but we rented it because literally right across the street is her house. So her nieces came over one day and mentioned that they had a cough, or her mom had a cough. I was like, okay, please leave.
Yeah.
I don't think I said it that nicely. My wife's disagreeing. I kind of was mean about it. I was like,
shaking her head.
Get the fuck out of my house.
Right.
So I have 2 kids to protect, but then sure enough, 2 or 3 days later, they have symptoms and they're going to get tested. And then it took almost 6 days to get the test back. And then sure enough, they came back positive. And
no kidding.
So now we've literally locked down in the house and not gone out.
Yeah.
So I have to go back to work because for some reason I'm missing essential.
No.
And I could tell you what the general said, and I think it's laughable. Hopefully he doesn't see this. So
he's a huge
I still have to go
fan.
into work, which I think is stupid because it's just subjecting me to me getting sick. But yeah.
So is it
it's
bad by you?
What's that?
Is it bad around like where you're at?
Yeah, San Diego's like considered a hot spot.
Yeah.
For it.
Well,
So,
California though has been on lockdown for a while, right?
What's that?
California as a state has been locked, on, non-essential lockdown for, longer, I think, than
for
Ohio
a couple
has.
weeks. Almost a month. Yeah, almost a month now. They've been on that. And then I guess there was a protest downtown today. People
Yeah, I heard about all
protesting.
the protests. Yeah.
But they're wearing masks. So they have to take it seriously somehow.
Right.
The coronavirus is a joke, but yet I have a mask on, so I don't get it. Like, come on, man.
Dude, I think people are just like fed up, you know? I think that I don't know. I feel like people, like, I remember even a couple weeks ago, you'd see like posts on Facebook or Instagram or something like that where the majority of stuff that I saw from people was stay safe, do your part, like we can get through this, blah blah blah. And now it's kind of like, dude, May 1st, no matter what, I'm doing my thing, and I'm tired of this, and this is crap, and it's all a hoax. And so I think people are just like at their wits' end, you know, whether they're just been stuck at home, or, you know, there's people that are like financially are getting crippled, you know, not being able to work. Like there's a lot of people that, you know, don't qualify for unemployment, you know, like, I mean, I feel very blessed that we've been able to do what we've been able to do, and my wife's still working, and so we've been able to get by. But there's a lot of people that can't, and I think that, you know, a month is a long time to change, and eventually, and I think now, you know, people know people like personally that have tested positive and then come back, and I think that that makes it less scary. Like, I don't think the fear is there anymore. And so I think people are like, that's why you're seeing more protests, and you're seeing people that are just like, well, whatever, I'm going to take my chances now because I need to get back to normal.
Yeah, I see that. Like, also same, I guess, being a dad, like I see it like, if I get it, that's what makes me worry about going to work.
Right.
Like, what I do can wait. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
if I give it to my kids, obviously it's more older people that are at risk, but still, to go back to your question you asked earlier, Steve, was like Marine Corps, how it transitioned to me being a father and stuff like that. We more talked about, hey, what the Marine Corps has done for my career and stuff like that and where I'm going.
Yeah.
But being a dad, like, I'm super, super overprotective.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't know if that's a Marine Corps thing or just I've always wanted to be a dad. But like, if I ever got it from work and brought it back to them, like, it just pisses me off. Like,
oh yeah.
So when I see these people not taking it seriously or not doing stuff, I'm like, dude, you're an idiot. Like, there are people dying. I know, whatever, 3%. Do I want to risk my kids getting a 3% chance of dying?
No chance,
so,
man.
So that's where Marine Corps has also done to me too, is like, yeah, I don't know if it's just that I have my kids back thing. I have my 6, but you don't mess with my kids, and like, if they're messing with their health kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's where, when I don't see people wearing masks or coughing without covering their mouth still, like, I get pissed.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. No, I mean, that's for sure. It's terrifying, because I mean, I think the same thing. It's like, if I were to go to the store and like I wasn't being safe, and like I come home and bring something home to them, and I have a son who's got, you know, he's had heart conditions, he has asthma. It's like, dude, I don't know. I still don't know the answer to people with asthma. Like, if it's, you know, if it's something that's going to be he's high risk, like he could die, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, if that were to happen, that would kill me. That would just, you know, that's like,
yeah, but then you got those people out there like, well, I had a friend who had it and he got asthma and he was fine. Okay,
yeah,
well, I don't give a fuck. Like,
well, everybody's different.
This is my kid.
Everybody's different, man. I got my grandpa who's in a nursing home. He has it right now. All right, but
dang.
he's doing much better. He's recovering fine. But I also have somebody who I worked with who got it. He doesn't work with me anymore. He lives about an hour away from me. But he got it, and he got it bad, and he was on a ventilator for a week, and it was really bad for him. But I mean, he's recovering now. But still, I mean, going to that point where you're on a ventilator, like, that is such a terrible thing.
Terrifying.
Be put on a ventilator. It's one of the worst things. I mean, that's why they have to put you under to do it, because it's so awful. They said everybody's natural reaction is to pull it out. My son, when he was in the hospital, it was on a ventilator for a month. Like, I mean, and he had no voice for a month and a half. He had no voice. He has scar tissue, all kinds of problems. And then you do that to an adult, I mean, you're going to have lots of problems, man. That shit's terrible. So, like, people not taking it seriously, it is very annoying. It pisses me off, because I don't want to end up like that.
No.
You know what I mean? I'm at the
not even the 3% risk.
Well, what's the Skittles thing? If you had 100 Skittles and 3 of them were poisonous, are you going to eat any of the Skittles?
Kill you? Yeah.
No.
Right? That's the best example.
I'm not going to take that risk.
No. I am going to steal that, though. I do like that. I like that.
I mean, it makes sense, right?
Just to show you how we're protective of him, I get pissed when I had to hold my kid down to get his baby shot, his 1-year shots. He's sitting there looking up at me. And I feel like I'm supposed to be your protector, dude. I'm holding you down so you get your shots that help you. But still, I wanted to punch the nurse in the face. Because she did it and then put the cap on. And then when we got the other one, I was like, can you hurry up? Like, you should have been ready to stab. Let's go.
Well, we know how that shit's supposed to work. Just get in an assembly line and
for you guys, man. Shit. Dude, like a good example of that, Jeff, too, is like my son, he had RSV. I took him to the hospital the one night, and they were trying to get an IV in him. And they're getting ready to take him up to cardiology. And I'm like, and they're like, we're going to put an IV in him. I'm like, well, can I just wait till we get upstairs? Because I want to go see the specialist, you know? And they tried to put an IV in him for like 5 minutes, and they kept missing. They couldn't get it. And finally, I'm sitting there. He's screaming his head off. I'm holding him. I'm just sweating my ass off, and I'm just fuming. And finally I go, stop. I'm like, just get out of here. I'm like, stop poking him and leave him alone. And they're like, we're really sorry. I'm like, just get out of here. The rage I was feeling, like just like you said, being protective of your child. It's like, man, it killed me. I was inside. I was dying just watching that happen. And I was like, ugh. So yeah, I know what you mean about the shots.
Yeah, no, it kills me. I'll take 500 shots before they get one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, all day.
So now being a dad is awesome, though. I do love it.
It is awesome, man. And that's one more question I'm going to ask you guys about the Marines. We can get back to COVID right after that because I know it's still a hot topic. But would you guys? I mean, now knowing what Jeff knows and what Jeff's doing with the, with trying to transition and everything, and knowing how your career has turned out, and Ian, how awesome. I mean, you started your business and everything, so it did a lot for both of you guys. Would you guys send if your child wanted to do it, would you guys encourage them, or would you say no?
I'm overprotective. I say no.
Yeah.
8 tours, things that I've seen done. Like, I don't wish it on my kids.
Yeah. Okay.
If they're gonna go do it, I tell them to go join the Air Force. And no diss on anybody in the Air Force. I just think you still learn a trade. You can still get college money, you can still all that, but you get treated like a person from day one, and then you're not in harm's way as many. I mean, others Air Force people have passed away, they've been shot down, they've been killed, and I don't mean to disgrace them at all, but for the most part, they're more out of harm's way.
Yeah,
and that's just my opinion.
Man, I think I would totally support either of my kids if they wanted to do it.
Yeah.
I don't think that I will be like my dad was. I don't think that I will, semi-train them for boot camp or anything like that.
Stand in parade dress when they talk to you?
Oh, I did. I literally did. I used to have to stand there. Yes, sir. You know what I mean? Like I think my dad wanted to be a drill instructor, but he never was. And so I think, my dad served in the 83 to 87. Like there was nothing going on in those years. So, I mean, he never got to, and I bust his balls on it all the time. I was like, oh yeah, I was probably in the war back then. You never got to do that or whatever. And he pisses him off. And it's funny. We just yell at each other. But I don't know, man. Here's what I would say. I hope that I learned enough of why I went that I can raise my kids in a manner that will give them other options. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hope that I learned my lesson on all that kind of stuff so that I can prepare them for other things, because I mean, I would much rather them go to college or a trade school or learn a skill or whatever that prepares them for the real world, and that they can be, I guess, maybe a little bit more disciplined on their own. But having said that, if it's something that they wanted to do, I mean, again, I credit any little bit of success that I've had to the Marine Corps. I mean, my parents too, but again, I needed that swift kick in the ass of boot camp and then being forced to be an adult at an early age. I needed that. And so if my kids need that, I mean, look, I mean, I remember when I signed up, I was still 17. And so I watched my dad wasn't a big deal. I think he was happy as shit to sign that waiver. But my mom, I remember I had to watch her sign that thing and then go cry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the strongest people I know. And I don't think I even know half of, like, especially like when I went to Iraq and stuff like that, like, I don't think I even know half of what she went through, you know, with that. But
yeah,
that's one thing my mom used to say is, you don't know how it is. I'm like, oh, you're in the 120-degree heat carrying all that body armor and all that ammo and all that water. And I'm like, but now being a parent,
yeah,
dude, I'd be losing it if my kid was
rough, man. It would be rough. But I try, and this is somebody that's been out for shit.
When'd you get 06?
07.
07.
So I've been out for 13 years, and I still, to this day, credit everything to, you know, you don't forget any of that kind of stuff. I mean, even when I'm training employees or I'm coming up with a strategy or whatever, like I still go back to some of that stuff and like, dude, I use leadership principles all the time. You know yourself and, you know, all
self-improvement.
Yeah, that's the one. I don't have them memorized anymore, but I do.
I'm a shitty Marine, but I still know all my knowledge.
Well, you're a good Marine. But no, I do. I reference that kind of stuff all the time, and I really do. Whenever I'm like really stuck on something, I go back to some of those base. I mean, here's the thing about the Marine Corps that people, I don't know that people really understand, is that everything is so basic. Like, if you can do like 12 things, you can literally do anything. Like, if you stick to some leadership principles and, you know, think logically and use what we were taught, no problem cannot be solved. You know what I mean? Like, and so like I reference that kind of stuff all the time. And so I do think that I would support, you know, of course, I'm going to support my kids no matter what they want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's what I was going to say is I'll support them, whatever they want to do. However, you always want better for your kids.
Yeah.
Like, I believe I blood, sweat, tears, all my tours, doing whatever I did and trying to provide them a better life. So they don't have to go through what I did. So would I support them? Yes. But I would lean them towards the Air Force, something that keeps them out of harm's way.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I want the best for them. Like, I'm kind of hypocritical or contradicting myself, is I owe the Marine Corps everything. But I was down the wrong path. I'm hoping to set my kids off on the right path, where they won't need to turn to the military or turn to something else. Is whether they want to, that's their choice. But for myself, I had to. Like, I couldn't go to college. Like, I would.
Yeah. Dude, I would have wasted so much money.
Yeah, dude, I'd still be in debt. Like, I'd be a deadbeat.
Think about that. Yeah, like, say you didn't make that decision. Say you didn't take that drive that one day and just happened to see that out of the corner of your eye, and you made that decision. Like, people in that situation don't make that decision, and they go down the wrong path, and they continue down that wrong path.
Yeah.
So that's huge, man. That's. I mean,
I have my friends, and sad to say, hopefully they get better. But some of them are heroin addicts, and like, it's sad to see. And like, that would have been me. I wasn't a leader, I guess. So if they're like, hey, try this new thing, heroin, it's awesome, I'd be like, cool, let's do it.
Right.
Like, but luckily I did take that drive. So
yeah, I mean, I was the same way. Like, I mean, luckily, like, and Steve and I talk about all the time. Like, we're so incredibly fortunate. Like, we grew up with some really good people, you know, and that we're all still friends to this day. But there was plenty of influences out there where I could have gone a different way, you know?
Oh, I absolutely. I feel like, and I mean, this isn't even on the same level as you guys, but I definitely could have. Like, I still remember like in junior high school, like the type of people I was hanging out for a while, and like I decided to get away from it and completely change everything and be like, hey, I'm gonna go hang out with my old friends, like Ian. Like, I was still friends with you guys, but I was doing stupid shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know if I continued down that path, like I could have gone the opposite way. And then, you know, with sports and everything, that helped me out too. So,
and we were still able to do some stupid shit.
We did a lot of dumb shit.
Just didn't really, you know.
Life's boring if you don't.
Right. Yeah. We were, you know, but yeah, man, it's crazy when you have a chance to look back on that kind of stuff. And that's one of the reasons I love doing this podcast thing, because it does give you time to reflect and
for sure.
Dude, I told you, I texted you, and I was so impressed the first time I heard you. I was like, wow. Like, I think I texted you and said something like, dude, you have a really good voice. Like, your presence on the podcast is awesome.
Yeah, he's the man with that, man. he's got the good
really impressed me. I really thought you had a voice for radio, not that podcast thing. But dude, you pull it off, man. I was totally impressed. And like, I watch your guys' podcasts. I try to do a video for you guys. Second one's coming, but yeah, dude.
Man.
And like, I will say, Ian, like, I talk to my wife all the time. I tell her how you have your own businesses, and that's where I want to get. Like, I want to do this Microsoft thing and then maybe start my own company, because that's, I don't know, I totally admire taking that leap and starting your own business.
You know, again, I really, really do. I mean, the leadership stuff from the Marine Corps is what I credit everything to. I mean, I know, so I have right now 48 girls that work for me. And sometimes it is the most frustrating thing because, you know, most of my staff is between the ages of like 20 and 25, you know? And so it's tough sometimes to relate, but really I go back to the Marine Corps stuff all the time, and they always like some of them, like especially my managers, like they'll stop me and like, all right, you're starting to turn into a Marine again, like you need to calm it down, like we're in daycare. I'm like, yeah, I know, but the principles still apply, right? Like, and you know, I appreciate the kind words, because who would have thought, you know, I'd be doing okay after.
Exactly.
But
my point.
I mean, I think that the things that we learned, I mean, even stupid stuff, you know, even stuff like how, Jeff, you and I used to go to, you know, other barracks rooms, and like we would play cards, and or we would go out on the town, and we would go and like learn how to handle yourself in different situations. I mean, that was all training for where I'm at today. And you know, I don't know, like I mean, Steve knows, like I talk about the Marine Corps all the time, like, and again, I'm not the hoorah guy, and you know, I don't fly my moto flags, and you know what I mean, like it's I'm so proud of what I was able to do, but at the same time, like I got more out of the Marine Corps than the Marine Corps got out of me. Like I did 4 years and got out, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like I took that shit and turned it into something, and I'm super proud of that. But
oh yeah, I mean it's all awesome, man. I mean, obviously it did a lot for you. I lost him. What was I going to say to you? Oh, I was going to say, if you would have stayed in Vegas, you said you got 48 girls working for you. If you would have stayed in Vegas, you might have had 48 different types of girls working for you.
That's true.
You could have had a completely different business.
Hey. All right, little man's going to bed in a minute.
Hey, what's up, dude?
Hey, buddy.
Can you say good night?
So this is
Nathan.
This is Nathan. This is my oldest.
What's up, dude?
Nathan.
Okay. Say hi, Ian. Hi, Steve.
Nathan,
hi, buddy.
Hey, I'm going to bedtime
just now. So you know, I believe, Steve, correct me if I'm wrong.
Go ahead.
You are the first.
I was gonna say it.
Child on the Talking Dads.
Yeah. Yeah,
Give
buddy.
him knuckles. Give him knuckles. Give him knuckles. Yeah, there we go. Ooh.
That's very
okay.
cool.
Good night, buddy.
Night, buddy.
Good night.
That's
the best right there.
You know.
Yeah, you're on TV.
You know, actually,
I'm on TV.
About a year ago, maybe. How old's Aiden?
One.
So yeah, about a year ago, I remember Jeff called me, and he was like, "Hey, dude, you know, my wife's pregnant, and we're getting ready to have the kid, and you know, I want to ask you something." I was like, "Yeah, what's up?" He's like, "So we have our names narrowed down, and Ian is a finalist, and you're the only Ian that I know." And I think he said something to the effect of like, "You're one of the most awesome dudes that I know. So like, can we use your name?" And I was like, "Well, you know, I give you my blessing, but you know, whatever." No, but like,
buddy.
And then like a few weeks later, I see that the kid comes and you didn't take my name.
Well, that's my wife. I pushed and pushed and pushed for Ian.
Yeah.
And she changed it.
Wow.
Well, I have to say this. So Jeff's got all kinds of kind words for you, Ian. He's saying like the highest praises for you.
As he
right?
should.
And he had like, he's talking about possibly naming his son after, like, you know, Ian and this and that.
Yeah.
Only thing
That was a true story. I did call him. That was a true story.
I do like
bust Jeff.
I do like to bust balls a lot.
There, you know, you do though. You're a good ball buster.
Yeah, that's 100% true. But the reality is this. So in my time in the Marine Corps, I was in 2 different units. So I spent 2 years in Japan, or almost 3 years really, and then a year in 29 Palms with 7th Marine. So it's completely different. Had to meet all new people. I enjoyed a lot of the people that I was with, and I can honestly say that Jeff's the only dude that I ever talked to, and part of that makes me sad, but the reality is, you know, I mean, perfect example, we'll go months and you'll text me and be like, "Hey dude, we're gonna play poker online, or we're gonna do this or whatever." It's like, "Hey, do you remember this? Like, what was the name of that?" You know, like, we can pick up no matter what, no matter where we are. Like Jeff.
Well, it's a little more childish than that. It's more like special K, this little, or little Lou, this special K over. And we send on text, like we're talking over the radio, like we're back.
But honestly, I mean, Jeff was the dude when I was in the Marine Corps that I could always count on. Like even when I left third Recon Battalion and went over to 29 Palms, like I was pissed off about it that I had to leave the island and I had to go to freaking 29 Palms. Like that sucked. But like we stayed in contact and we met up a bunch of times, you know, like I said, like you came out to Vegas, and, you know, it's one of those, like they always say, like you're going to meet somebody that you can relate to and build a lifelong friendship with. And that's definitely Jeff. I mean, without a doubt. I mean, I learned so much, honestly, from Jeff, just from how to conduct yourself as a Marine. Like, because again, now it's coming back to me that you had gotten out, and then when you came back in, you were a freaking hard charger, and like, you know, but I learned how to lead from Jeff. I mean,
yeah,
appreciate it, man.
Again, when I, like, my shop, I was the only guy. You know what I mean? Like I didn't have like a big shop that I had a boss and everything else like that. I had a boss, but they weren't directly like responsible for me. I was just like hey, I got to take care of that NBC guy. You know, I got to make sure that they have something to do, you know? So, I learned all of the like NCO leadership that you look for, especially as a young Marine, like I got from Jeff, like, and it wasn't his responsibility. He could have just said, you know, fuck off. Like, I'm not responsible for you. But he didn't. And Jeff, you really did teach me a lot. And
I appreciate it, man.
I appreciate that. Like always.
I appreciate it. I said, I wish I could say the same about you.
There it is.
I appreciate your kind words. I'm just kidding, brother. You know I love you.
Yeah, of course.
So, thanks to both of you guys, obviously, for your service. So, high praise to both of you guys. So
yeah, man. All right. So Jeff, tell me about your kids. Like what?
Yeah, I was gonna say let's go to the kids here because I was gonna say you got a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old. So how
he's
far
freaking out
apart
now
are
that
they?
I didn't go put him to bed, or he's in. Like, normally he goes to bed really good, but he's freaking out right now. But
yeah.
So
Well,
go ahead about my kids.
He wants to come back on TV. That's why.
No, he didn't want to get on, and then when he got on, he's like, he got off. He goes, I was on TV.
Like, he's smiling. He was all about it, man.
Yeah.
So
he wanted back.
They're a year apart, right? So like I have 2 kids that they're 20. What are they? 21 months apart, right?
Mine are 15 to the day.
15. Wow, man.
15. So December 7th and then March 7th.
Hey.
So no, I'm older, man.
Right,
like
March 6th.
Are you?
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah. No, he.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I know. I can talk. I know we've been on probably about an hour now, like hour and a half actually. Like, dude, but I could talk another 2 hours with my kids. Like, I love being a dad. Like, I was in Vegas. Even after Ian left Vegas, I was in Vegas every weekend. Like, actually, after you left, I got a Vegas host that gave me free rooms, and I was in Vegas playing poker. I leave work Friday, fly back Sunday night, and doing the drinking, partying thing. And then I met my wife and instantly knew, hey, I want kids. Well, I always knew I want kids, but when the first one came, like instant, like people told me like it changes you, but I never knew till you had that first one.
Yeah.
And dude, I was so I was still overprotective. I said it before, but he was premature. My wife had some rough pregnancies, so he came actually almost a month early. So he was only 4 pounds, a little over 4 pounds when he was born, and he had to go down to the NICU. I was like, what the hell is the NICU? Like, didn't know what it was. People were like, why are you freaking out? Your kid's in NICU. Like, literally, I think I told my sister to go fuck off. She goes, it's not a big deal. I was like, fuck you. It is a big deal. My kid has to go away from me. So I actually went down to NICU with him. And this is what I thought was good is my wife still loves the story too, is I grabbed a big chair they had and I turned it around. So I just faced the wall because I didn't want to stare at other people. They were coming down visiting their kids and stuff. And I didn't want to be that creeper just like staring with my kid holding them. Well, I was down there for 2 nights, 3 days. Hadn't had one lick of sleep. I'd go to use the restroom, come back. And then on that 3rd day, a nurse had come back in and I'm facing the wall, just have a kid on my chest. And nurse comes in. She's like, wow, you're back. I said, yeah. She walks away, comes back like 2 or 3 minutes later. She's like, I was just told you haven't left. And I was like, yeah. And she goes, okay. Are you all right? I said, yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. And then she walks away. 5 minutes later, she comes back. Like, and she's like, you need to leave or I'm calling security. I go, what? What are you talking about? She goes, you're a danger to the kid. If you fall asleep, I was told you haven't slept at all. I was like, no, like I'll sleep when my kid leaves NICU. Like that's how mentally like, my kid, I'll stay with my kid the whole time. And then literally she goes, no, like you have 2 minutes to leave or I'm calling security right now.
Really?
So that's like, but the love for my kid was instant. It was the second I first met that kid.
Yeah.
I would give my life for that kid and like instantly like didn't want to leave his side. So, but I absolutely love being a father.
Dude, I'm very fortunate. Like we had very, I don't want to say normal, but we had uneventful births for both of my kids. But like Stevie, for his second kid, Ben, went through a whole, too many things to list of surgeries and just, he was at the Children's Hospital for 2 months?
2 months, yeah.
And like Steve was the same way.
Man.
He was in his room. He was there every night. Like he would switch off with his wife and because he was still working and he would come off of work and go there every single night. And I remember going to visit and like, you see all these rooms with these kids and no one's there, you know? And like,
that's the saddest thing, man, is seeing the people, these poor kids. And I was in there every day for 2 months. So it's like, And you go past these rooms of these kids, and there hasn't been anybody to visit them. You know, there hasn't been and you talk to these nurses and doctors, and like, yeah, some of these kids, you know, they get dropped off, and then they don't see their parents till they get picked up until they're out. Like, I mean, that's terrible. Like, I can't even imagine doing that. Like, the hours that I missed at the hospital killed me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I went to work because they gave me the option to miss as much as I wanted to, but at the same time, I was like, I got to go do what I have to do and have some sense of normalcy, because I was there losing my fucking mind every day. Like,
I bet.
He almost, like, every day for the first month and a half, they weren't sure if he was going to make it through the night, you know? So, I mean, like, I was losing my mind constantly. So, and like you said too, like, people are like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Like, your son's in the NICU. Like, I don't care who you are. If there's any type of complication with your child who was just born or anything, that's scary as shit, man. Like, I don't care what it is. It could be the most minor thing in the world, but your kid there's something wrong that's terrifying. So for someone to sit there and tell you, like, oh, that's not a big deal compared to what I had, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't even get that. Because, I mean, like, I remember what I felt when your kid was in the hospital.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I remember how I felt for that. And, like, look, Ben's is just as, like, probably as close to my kid as anyone else's kid could be. You know what I mean? But still not my kid. Like, I recognize that. And I still was so, like, insane about it. You know what I mean? So I can't imagine my own, you know what I mean? Like,
I never felt that way until I had my own.
Yeah.
I was that dude, like, oh my God, dude, it's just whatever.
Yeah.
But now that I've had one, dude, I feel for you. Like, I didn't even know you back then, like, or was around, but I'm like, dude, that's rough. Like, that's some tough stuff to go through.
It was insane. But, like, I mean, the kid's great. He's a little hellion, man. Like, these kids are crazy. Nathan's 2 now, and he's just going to get crazier.
Great name. Strong name.
It is.
You met Nathan. He's a 2-year-old.
He's a 2-year-old, man. He's gonna but these kids, like, today, my son Ben, who was he had his heart surgery and everything, and he's crazy. He'll sneak out of his bedroom in the morning. Today I found him, he was yelling for help at like 7 a.m. because he was standing on the counter and he couldn't get down. He was trying to get a cup for his milk.
Dude,
how old is he?
He's 2, actually. Yeah, he's 2. So
2, yeah.
And Ben,
God.
Sam is 4.
Yeah,
so,
Ben's gonna be 3 here in like a few months.
Yeah, he'll be 3 in September. Yeah.
So my 2-year-old, so Sloan, my daughter, the other day. So I was actually at work. I was doing some shit at the daycare, like cleaning stuff up and everything. And my wife texted me. She goes, "Just so you know, what your daughter is currently doing." She's like, she locked herself, or not locked herself, but like shut the door to the pantry and was just like taking everything off the shelves and just yelling, "I win, I win, I win." What the fuck?
I win. What did she win?
She fucking won. I don't know.
It doesn't matter. She won.
Yeah. That's good.
That's crazy.
So okay, 1 and 2. Do you have any here? Ian and I don't have much advice to give, but we both have 4-year-olds. Is there anything that you're, concerned about, or, is anything, any advice we could give you for the upcoming years of your sons?
Right now it's just the terrible 2s. Like, his
I got something for you.
His whininess has increased 1,000,000-fold. I mean, if it's before we come in the front door, he has to let you in. If you open the front door without him letting you in, oh my God, it's the end of the world. I do it. Like,
yeah.
But so that just drives me crazy. I'm like, I can't handle this whining. I love you, kid. Stop with the whining.
But it makes you.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll tell you this, man. 2's tough. I'm going to say 3 for Sam was worse. 3 was, I'm telling you, I couldn't wait for 3 to end.
Yeah.
It was awful, man. It was so awful.
The worst.
Yeah. I obviously, I think I have the greatest kids in the world, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
They're whining.
Yeah.
I can't handle it.
It's brutal. It's nails on a chalkboard. I tell my wife this all the time. I'm like, when these kids are being good and they're being sweet, best thing in the world. But man, when that whining is happening, I'm like, I could just, I'm like,
I always feel like Arnold.
Yeah.
Kindergarten Cop. Stop whining.
Stop whining.
Dude, I can't handle the whining, man.
Oh, makes me crazy.
But
I tell
Jeff, what I always say, what's that?
He doesn't get what he wants when he whines with me.
Right. No, yeah, me either.
Don't give in.
Yeah, you can't. So here, at least up until 4.5, or Gibbs is almost 5. He'll be 5 in June. The things that I've learned is that the hardest age is the age that they currently are.
True story. That's actually the best thing I've heard.
Because
you have new things every
day, right? Like, I
like that.
Gibbs used to be the whining, and now he doesn't really whine so much anymore. But now he gets he's manipulative. So I don't know where the hell he learned that, but he'll be like, oh yeah, I totally did this. And like, he's learning how. I don't want to call it lying, but it is. He'll be like, oh yeah,
stories.
I did that. I asked him the other day. I'm like, well, is your room clean? Like, he wanted to play his video game, and we're on lockdown, so I've been very like liberal with him playing his games and stuff like that, because I'm just like, dude, do what you need to do. And it snowed yesterday, so
what?
Yeah, it snowed yesterday.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. Now today was like 50 degrees, but it's Northeast Ohio, so
we go through 4 seasons in a week, so.
So it was like, fine, you can play your video game, but first you need to go clean your room because you took all your stuff out and that's just not acceptable. He's like, okay. So he cleans his room and he's like, all right, I'm done. Can I play my game now? I'm like, are you sure it's done? Do I need to go check? He's like, no, you don't have to check. I promise it's good. I'm like, okay. So I let him play his game and I go upstairs and like, he hasn't done a fucking thing. And I'm like, get your ass upstairs. It's just like the getting away with what he can, and I guess that's normal and everything. And I try and remember, like, okay, I did that shit up until I was like 30, so I gotta cut him some slack. But at the same time, like, I don't know, man, it just drives me nuts. Like, I don't know why. Like, just do it, just get it done, and then you can do whatever the hell you want.
It's almost like, I'm like, if you just eat this piece of food.
Right.
If you could just eat this bite, you could go do what you want to do. All you have to do, this small little thing that you have to do, and you could do whatever you want when you're done. Please. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Come on. And then, Jeff, also I was going to ask you, I don't know if you can tell the difference yet, but they always say, like, the first child is, like, very sweet, helpful, and then the second one is just feral. Like, they're just ridiculous, man. Like, is that true with you?
100%. I literally just talked about today, because my Nathan one is just like the sweetest little boy. He'll come up and give you hugs. He wants group hugs. He goes up to his brother like in the morning and just walks up, grabs his head, and just gives him kisses on his forehead. And he's like, "Good morning, Nathan." And like, but his brother's a brute. Like, that kid will come in, and he's 1, and will try to rip stuff out of Nathan's hands. And like, what was I doing this morning? I was just playing with him, and I was playing rough. And Nathan doesn't like that, but Aiden is cracking up laughing. Like, I literally pushed him over. Like, he's learned how to walk. And then I was joking, like, my wife built a slide with the couch. She takes the cushion, it's one big long cushion, and she puts it off. It's called a slide. Well, so we're on that, and he's walking. I was like, earthquake! And I pushed him over. Kid starts cracking up laughing. And like, he just loves to play rough. He loves like that, when the other one's more of a sweetheart, more of a hugger, snuggler. But the other one's rude. So
I guess it's true, man. I feel like everybody we ask is the same, man. It's my son Sam, like, we have a handshake, and if I do not say bye to him or give him a hug before I leave, like, he'll run to the door. He'll be like, "We have to do our handshake," and he'll give me a hug. Like, I went to the store today, and Sam runs up and he gives me a hug. He's like, "I love you." I'm like, "Buddy," I'm going to the store. I'll be back in 10 minutes. Like, I just have to go grab, batteries for your toy real quick, like, and Ben, I'm like, "Hey, Ben, I'm leaving. Give me a hug." And he just looks at me. He's like, whatever. Back to what he's doing.
But dude, so with my dad, not to change the subject off, but exactly what you were saying is one thing since I've had a kid now. So me and my dad had a rough little time when I was in high school and stuff like that. Like I said, like I was a punk. Now that I have kids, not one time do I get off the phone with him now without saying I love you.
Yeah.
Like it just cements me like how my kids are with me. And life is fragile. It's a 10-minute drive to the store, but you could get a car accident.
Right.
It's true.
Like, and that's why I tell my dad all the time. The first time I remember, like I was like, "Hey, I love you," and he was like, "What? We don't do that." Like, but now I was like, I don't know. Like we're not getting any younger, and the last words I don't want to be were like, "Hey, did you fucking hit the golf ball good today at the driving range?" Like, no, I want the last words to be like, "Hey, I love you, dude. Let you know." So like now every time we got the phone, it's I love you. But no, when you said that, like your son saying that, it hit me. Like I started that with my kids. When my kids were born, that's when I started telling my dad and everybody to get off the phone, like, "Hey, I love you, I love you, I love you."
Yeah. So. That's true. It's like you don't feel any type of love more than you feel for your kids, right? And then like Ian and I have talked about this before. Like your parents would say things to you and try to give you advice, and you never really took it for anything until we did as we got older, but once you have kids, you really understand what the hell they were trying to say, and you really appreciate what they were doing a lot more, because all they're trying to do is what we're trying to do for our kids. They're always trying to help us, and they're always trying to love us, and so you when you have your kids, you really appreciate a lot more. Like I take it to heart way more than I used to. It does. It really does. It changes everything. It makes you a better person, I think.
Yeah. Hands down. But you guys seen this new show? Have you seen this new show out about these people on trial? I think it's on Netflix. They killed their kid. My wife started watching it.
I didn't see it. Okay.
They fed their kid like cat litter, and
that kid. Oh, you're talking about that one. It's that one kid, right? His the parents, like the kid.
Parents end up killing him.
Like, my wife watched that, and she was explaining it to me. I'm like, I can't. I'm like, you can't.
Is that the trials?
I can't do it.
Something. Yeah, no. My wife was watching it. She started telling me about it. I was like, no, stop. Like, I have anger issues as it is, and like the things I would do to those parents, or I can't say on this being recorded.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like, now you're hurting it. Yeah, I don't know. But once you have a kid,
you're right though, man. Like my wife watches that kind of stuff, and she tells me these stories, all these sad stories about these kids, and I'm like, don't tell me this.
Yeah.
It makes me so angry, makes me so sad. I'm like, I don't want to hear anything about it. I'm not watching it. Not doing it.
I do have a decent funny story, which reminded me because I heard a noise out the backyard of being overprotective. So we live across from her parents, which I call the ghetto. So we don't live in that great of a neighborhood. So one night it was like 3 a.m, and we had like a back patio area, which was my man den. It used to be. I took it down because I'm excited to leave here. So I'm already packed up, and all the stuff's out in the garage. I'm ready to move back up to my house. So I hear stuff knock over. So what the fuck? Wake up and listen. I hear some more stuff knock over. I was like, dude, I wasn't imagining shit. Jump up, run out, and I get to the back door. It's a sliding glass door. So I get the light, slowly unclick the unlock, and I get the light ready to do it. Throw open the door, turn on the light, jump out. Like, you motherfucker. It was about a 50 fucking pound raccoon had ripped the screen on the door open. This whole time I'm like, you're not coming in to mess with my kids. And then I jump out like, and I slowly start the back way like, oh shit. Like, dude, like I literally, because that's the first thing I thought is like, you're not coming to my fucking house with my kids. And I get out there and this thing was like, it might be a fish story, but this raccoon, he'd been eating some fucking steaks and prime rib, and he was huge.
Oh, he's eating well, man.
I hear all kinds of stories about California with the bobcats.
It's coyotes. Mostly.
Joe Rogan was talking about those, man. Coyotes are bad there.
The bobcats.
Oh, see, no, we don't have those. We have coyotes. Like my wife's little dog, she had a little chihuahua, and they got one of the chihuahuas one day, and they found only the head in the backyard.
Oh,
coyotes.
Damn.
So you have to bring in, like, I have a big dog. He's a Ridgeback lab mix, so he's a big dog. But no, if you have little dogs, you have to bring him in at night.
Damn.
Dude.
Oh, they're torn up.
I think it was somebody, was it an aunt or somebody I know in Michigan? Their friend's dog, it was like one of those little dogs, got taken away by a eagle. Eagle came and scooped it up.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, dude. But yeah, we have coyotes here, but other than that, there's nothing. Like we have, I mean, for dogs and cats, the coyotes are a problem for sure.
Dude, I mean, I say it all the time.
Yeah, you have coyotes by you too. I've seen them out by Europe.
I've lived in some weird places. I love Northeast Ohio. Like, we don't have any real like natural disasters. We don't have any like crazy predators around here. We get 4 seasons, and you got to deal with some snow a little bit here and there. But I mean, Jeff's from the Midwest, so you're from St. Louis, right?
Can't wait to go. Hopefully, go back there.
Yeah, is that where you want to end up?
Yeah,
that's where I'd love to. I mean, I have a big family, 6 sisters.
Yeah,
and
you have 6 sisters.
6, no brothers, 6 sisters.
No wonder you're so girly.
No, that's why I'm a ladies' man. So now my wife is born and raised Southern California, San Diego. Like when I say I live across the street from her parents, the next door neighbors is her uncle. Her sister lives about a minute drive away.
Damn.
And her family's like, I call it the Hueso Barrio, where we live, because all their family's right here.
Your wife to leave San
Diego. I was gonna say, good luck, man. Yeah, pulling her away from all that.
She just gave me an evil look.
Your wife's a saint for dealing with you.
I know.
All right. So, Jeff, one of the things that we do on the podcast is we call it a proud dad moment. We like to force our guest to think about something that they're proud of. And it can be either something that they're proud of their kids for, or even better, bonus points, or something that you're proud of yourself for. This dad shit is hard. Parenting is hard. And I think it's good to reflect kind of and take some time to think about something that you're pretty proud of. So if you can come up with something like that on the spot.
Dude, because I'm proud of that you name it. Like today he looked at me out of the corner of his eye like this. And like I was like, whoa, dude, that's cool. So like I'm easily impressed.
Yeah.
So this is a good question, man. That's actually, it doesn't sound deep, but to me, that's a pretty deep question.
It is kind of deep because you know what? I think as men and fathers, I think men are not necessarily programmed to reflect and be proud of something. You know what I mean? Like especially like the Marine Corps stuff, you know what I mean? Like you do your job, you get it done. And for me, at least, it was years later when I was like, oh shit, like that was pretty awesome that we did that, you know? But you almost have to be forced into the I don't know. I can't think of the word that I'm thinking of, but like you almost have to be forced into reflecting on something. You know what I mean? So that's what we try and do with all of our guests to make sure.
No, and as you're talking, I'm still thinking about it. Like of one instance, because I just think every day I'm just like, wow, kid, like you said a new word. Like, and I'm like, oh my God. Like I yelled at my wife, did you hear him say this word yet? And like, she's like, yeah, but to me, it's cool. Yeah. So I'm cheesy like that. But I think the most things that I like is, and I'm proud of, is my oldest that we talked about just a minute ago, his kind heart. Then when he goes up and like today, he was the 1-year-old's learned to walk new and he fell down and he went over to go help him up and stand up. I was like, I didn't tell him to go over and do that. He just knew, hey, that's my little brother. I need to go help him stand up. And that to me is just like, dude, are you 2 years old and you're already sticking up for your little brother and help him stand up? So like, I guess that would be a proud moment that comes into mind today.
Yeah,
sure.
That's super cool.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Cool to see the older sibling stick up for or encourage or help, you know, it's amazing that that kind of stuff comes natural.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I mean,
yeah,
I think that we all do it. We all say to the older sibling, like I know, especially for me, with my daughter being the younger one, I like drilled it into Gibbs's head. I'm like, dude, this is your little sister. You gotta be there for her. And the reality is that my daughter's gonna be way tougher than my son. 100% have no doubt in my mind. But like when she's trying to do something, whether it's build a block or build blocks or she's coloring or whatever it is, like he goes and actively tries to help her. And I love that.
I feel like they, even with us like telling them to do it, I feel like they naturally, you know, want to encourage their little brother or sister, which is awesome. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and that's something to be proud of. I think that's so cool to see them do that, you know, to actually see it happening in front of you. That's so cool.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, good. Yeah, and you should, because I mean, I'm here to tell you, especially in my industry, like it's a reflection of parenting. It's a reflection of you and the interactions that you and your wife have, like helping each other out, or the interactions of you helping your oldest out. Like that's what they learn from. So
yeah.
like if Nathan sees you help him out when he's struggling with something, he's going to do that with Aiden, because that's what he knows.
Yeah.
So that's a reflection on you. So you should be proud of that, because
she actually wrote a paper on this. I'm taking college course right now over nature versus nurture.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to decide with either it's nature or it's nurture. And that's why I think it's nurture. It's just like you're saying, is you grow up to like your parents. Whether you're adopted, if your parents are mass murderers, but your adopted parents are sweet people, does that mean you're going to be a mass murderer? And I don't think. I think it's just like you're saying, it's the nature you grew up in.
Yeah.
The nurture you grew up in.
I think we're all products of our environment, and I think it's important to remember that with our kids, because if you and your wife are screaming at each other, what do you think your kid's going to do?
Exactly.
Yeah. They're going to understand that behavior, and they're going to think it's normal.
It's acceptable.
To scream at somebody.
It's true. I mean, and Becky even said, like, Jeff, you said you have 6 sisters. Now, where were you in the mix there? Were you the oldest?
Directly in the middle. Directly in the middle.
So, like, for me, like, I had 2 older brothers. I was the youngest of 3. And, like, just for example, like you guys were saying, like, the older brothers looking out for the younger brothers. Like, my brothers always stuck up for me. They were always looking out for me. They always had my back on everything. So that was always very, very important to me. And so I always try to tell my son the same type of stuff. So like it's always, hey, look out for him, protect him. You know, because that's important. Like that made my life so much easier. Growing up, going to school, knowing that I had 2 older brothers that were always looking out for me. I had their friends always looking out for me. So my life was so much easier because of that. So I mean, I hope it's the same way for my kids. I mean, I hope they do that. My relationship with my brothers too is really good. I'm very close to my brothers, and so that's what I hope for, because you see a lot of siblings that kind of split up. You know, they kind of don't. You know, they're not very close, and you know, I want my kids to always be close to each
You've
other.
always been that guy, right? Like you've always been the I got your back guy. I mean, I think, you know, out of all of our friends, like I always know that I can count on Steve. You know what I mean? Like if I have a problem or I need something to go on, like Steve's there. You know what I mean? And we're very blessed. Like I said before, like we have a lot of close friends that are like that. But I think that's 100% true. And like you can tell that you've been that way. You know what I mean? Like and obviously I know your brothers, so
yeah.
It's easy for me to make that connection. But
you guys close in age or?
You
guys close in age?
Yeah. So the middle is 2 years older than me, and then my oldest is 4 years older. So
okay. So
they were pretty close, yeah. So that makes it a lot easier too.
That's what I'm hoping is. I mean, I know I'm going to get the little bickering back and forth. They still do. Their big thing is trash trucks right now. They both love trash trucks, but they have to have the other one's trash truck that they're playing with. We have 2 trash trucks, but the other one's cooler until the other one starts playing with the other one. Then that one's cooler.
That's what. Yeah.
So, but I hope
that's always an endless battle. It's like my oldest son will not be interested in any of these toys over in the corner here, but as soon as Ben starts playing with them, he has to have those. Like things like, oh, that's what I want.
Those are not my favorite. Like, mine.
Oh God, I hate that.
So yeah, but no, hopefully Besides that, I hope they grow up, have each other's backs, and
yeah, for sure.
Those are the small.
Exactly. Those are the small things that they're always going to be there, but that's how it goes. All right, well, let's move on to the next thing that we have to do. So we call this the dad hack. So, yeah, so I'll give you a good example, and this will be good for you with your 1-year-old, or even your 2-year-old. So when you're changing a diaper, I don't know if your boys are like this, trying to change the diaper or then put their pajamas on, for example, kicking their legs and flipping around like a seal.
Yeah,
so,
reminds me of Game of Thrones. Bend the knee. Bend the knee.
Bend the knee. That was a great meme someone did too. Try to put bend the knee. So mine was put the first pant leg on and roll it all the way up to their thigh, and then so that way they can't kick it off. That thing's on there.
Yeah,
you get the second one on with no problem. So that's my example, and you could use that one. That should work for you. But yeah, do you use the onesies?
Do you use onesies?
Oh, we do have the onesies. We do and then we have the pants and the shirts and stuff like that too. So
yeah, so we use the onesies most of the time. Like the 2-year-old has a couple, the shirts and stuff, but he's not that hard to get dressed. Like I'm saying, he's not saying he's a saint because he can drive you crazy. But no. So what I do is I actually put the arms in first, so now it's at least on them. So I first started with 2-year-old, put the legs in, then pull it up, and then put the arms in. But when you get those kicking those legs, next thing the one leg's out, then you have nothing. So I start with the arms and get it in. So now it's at least attached to them. And then I just have to get them. For some reason, they just dead leg those legs and don't bend them to get into the leg holes. But my hack would be first get attached, then they can't kick it loose. Is my little thing. So it seems to work. But for the most part, I think I'm blessed. Is the only time they ever freak out is when they're overly tired and just in a bad mood or whatever. But most of the time, it's like, cool, I'm going to lay there while you change your diaper. And every once in a while, he thinks it's funny. The 1-year-old just now thinks it's funny. Like right when you take your diaper off, he tries to roll. And right when he knows, and he cracks up laughing. Like the kid has my personality. He's like, like I got the poop and pee everywhere.
Like, yeah, that's fantastic. Great. Keep flipping around their shit in the diaper.
Yeah. So, awesome. But that's about it. I mean, I think I'm pretty blessed with kids that they just don't push me too much. And they're pretty easy, honestly. Like I think I hit the jackpot. So I credit my calm demeanor with creating that. So my wife walked out of here, but she would crack up laughing.
Now it's safe to say it.
Yeah. When they do have their meltdowns, she calls it pulling the little Jeffrey. She's like, oh my God, they're pulling the Jeffrey right now. They're pulling the Jeffrey.
I can see that.
So
I remember your meltdowns.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but other than that, like other things people have problems with, like eating. We have a what is it? Bubble Guppies, or Paw Patrol table and chairs that he has to eat at though, so he's too big for a high chair now and not big enough for the kitchen table.
Right.
So we had to break out his Paw Patrol, but we can't just put up one chair. He wants all the chairs put up around the table. Because we'll just put up one and then be like, no, daddy chair. And then he had to put up all of them because he has to have this full table set up, but he'll sit up there and he'll eat his own food. Yeah. Every once in a while, like, because we'll put like a cartoon or something on and he'll be watching and be like, hey, dude, take a bite. And he'll take a bite. So, like, as far as that case, dude, like, I think I hit the lottery with kids, at least right now. Knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood.
So.
No, that's good, though. I mean, look, just even having that attitude, of being grateful for the things that they do well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that goes a long way. And it's something I have to remind myself all the time is like, yeah, my son won't do, whatever. Like, whatever it is I'm trying to have him do at that point, if I remind myself that, like, how amazing he is at teaching his sister or helping his sister out, or how amazing he is at understanding and wanting to do some physical stuff, you know, whatever it is. Like if I remind myself of the good stuff, sometimes I feel like I can let go of some of the stuff that I'm frustrated with because most of the time I look at it and I'm like, dude, he's 4. Like I wasn't doing anything right until I was like 19. So
that's what the tough part is. Like when you're like, so right now, for example, we're stuck at, you know, we're home. So we're doing the teaching. We're doing the educational stuff. And so I'm trying to do like different learning activities. You know, we're doing like the numbers and the letters and everything. And I'm like,
yeah.
And I find myself getting frustrated with him sometimes when he doesn't know or answer it correctly. And I'm like, why the hell does this even matter?
When they guess.
Yeah. I hate when he's like,
oh man,
I have cards sitting in front of him and he knows the letters. He knows them.
Yeah.
I'm like, just show me the right one. And he'll point at each one of them one at a time. Yeah. I'm like, dude.
Stop guessing.
Like, stop. I'm like, you know it. And they go, I'm like, you know what? We're done for the day. He's like, well, why are you mad? I'm like, I'm not mad. I'm like, why are you? I'm like, you know what you're doing. But I'm like, I just try to tell myself, I'm like, just don't get so, just let it go. You know, you have, like you said, Ian, like, it's like, it is amazing what they're doing. And we've, you know, it's those small little things that piss you off sometimes. You got to just let it go. It's so hard not to, though, man. I'm like, it is tough, man.
Yeah, see, I'm not there yet to teach him, but when he has his meltdowns and doesn't stop, then my patience, that's one of my faults. Like, Ian, when you first started us out, you know, leadership principles, know yourself, seek self-improvement.
Yeah.
My patience levels.
Yeah.
That I need help with. But
I'm the same way, dude.
So I'm the same way, dude. My patience is not there.
No.
I think as men, like, it's hard because we expect things, right? Like,
yes,
you think of something, okay, this is what I'm going to get done, and you do it, you know? Yeah. And I think that what we have to remember is that there was a time
that we didn't do that.
And it was way older than our kids were, or than our kids are right now, where we had a task to do and we just didn't do it, you know?
Oh yeah.
But like
we're doing the same shit
now that we say, okay, this has to get done, let's go do it, you know? And I think that I think it's important to remember who we were not that long ago.
Yeah. It's tough,
I still
man.
like I was a kid a lot of times.
But yeah, 100%.
We all do, man.
So
I think it's just being a man in general. We have our kid tendencies.
Right. Which is great.
Absolutely. Keeps us young.
Yeah.
Yes. Speaking from a guy who just hit 40.
Did you hit 40? Yeah, it was just your 40th birthday, man. Happy birthday.
Happy 40th, man.
I'm 40 and exactly 2 weeks right now. And pretty much my life is over.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm not a birthday person. Like my wife, she has birthday weeks. Like she loves her birthday. Me, I'm just like, no,
I hate my birthday, man.
I hate it. And now
I
they
don't
hit 40.
Do anything.
Now I hit 40. I'm just like, good Lord, dude. I still remember being that 21-year-old, like meeting Ian in Vegas and Riri going up.
Bro, you were like
girls.
30 then.
Why you gotta bring up bullshit? Wait, back to that though. Do you remember the story? Maybe I just made this up in my head because there was a lot of drinking going on. Yeah. When Riri went up to a girl and offered to buy her a drink, and she said, "I have a drink," and he took the drink and threw it. He goes, well, let me get you another one.
I mean, that sounds right, dude.
Were you there?
So that dude's name was
Brian something.
Or O'Connell or O'Connor.
Brian O'Connor from.
No, it wasn't Brian O'Connor.
Brian
It was something like that. But I remember it was probably it may have been that same night. We were playing blackjack at a table, and he always used to order. Well, we all did. Was vodka Red Bulls.
Yeah.
And they would bring it to you in the tall, skinny glass. And like I want to say we were at the Hard Rock, and the dude had his. And
I think
this is like say no more cards, and he fucking crushed his drink all over the table, all over everyone, and everyone's like, "Whoa!" You know, and he's like, "Fuck you, get me another." And then he would smoke his cigs.
There's some good times, man. There's some good. just like you said at the very beginning, man, you make friends, but then you make those friends that you always stay with.
Yeah.
22 years in the Marine Corps, man, I talked to you and I talked to Matt Batley.
Really?
How's
Batley doing now?
He's good, dude. The dude's still a stud. I mean, Lat moved over to drive him in now.
So he's still in.
Yeah, he's a warrant officer, Chief Warrant Officer 3.
Okay.
And he ended up getting shot twice by a sniper in the stomach on another deployment. And the dude, he's a stud. Like
he always was. I mean,
yeah, the dude ran like 3 miles in 16:30 or something like that. Like, but no, the crazy thing, and I know it's talking about dads, but so after he got shot was 2 weeks into our deployment, and they took out like 8 feet of intestines. And 3 weeks after surgery, he's like, I want to go finish my deployment. And the company commander's like, no. He's like, well, I'm on full duty now. Like, I can go do whatever. They're like, all right, if you go run a 300 PFT, we'll send you back. Ran 300 PFT. So they're like, okay, go back to, it was back in Fallujah again.
Jeez, what badass.
That dude was a stud, man.
Yeah, he's a good dude. So yeah, he's, I just came off a special billet. And he is at that special billet now. So he's in the same job I am. So, but it's a pretty cool job. But so he's having fun right now.
That's awesome. But, yeah, man, it's crazy. I don't get to reflect a lot on or with somebody else on my time in the Marine Corps. I tell Steve all the time, I loved my time. I'm happy the way everything turned out. Like, I wouldn't trade anything for the world, like getting out. And I think I got out at the right time for me and learned the right lessons that I needed to learn to get where I'm at today. But it's fun to talk to you, about stuff from back then, because I just don't get to do that often. I got a buddy here, John, who he went in the Marine Corps, I think 2 years after I left, something like that. And so we never like overlapped or anything like that. But it's crazy, man. He was a mortarman, and he's got these friends. I mean, he goes and sees them all the time. Like
he went to like 4 weddings this past year.
Yeah,
for his buddies from the Marines.
He was in 2-3, I believe.
Yeah,
something like
that. He was
in
like New Orleans like twice.
Yeah, but so I mean, he was in Lejeune his whole time, and he's got guys from his unit that he stayed with for the whole 4 years, and he's really good friends with everyone. And so I talked to him a little bit, but for the most part, I don't really talk to anyone about.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think if you haven't served and been through some experiences, then you don't build that bond
right
as much. You're still like, hey, you're still my brother, still a Marine. Right. But like, having served together, having bled together, having sweat together, that builds that bond.
Yeah.
That 100%. You create.
Yeah.
So I have other cousins. It's my cousin's cousin. What does that make him? A second cousin?
Yeah. I guess a second.
Second cousin. So he's at boot camp right now. He graduates next week. So speaking of that,
send him a bunch of chocolate.
What's that?
Did you send him a bunch of chocolate?
Hell no.
Why?
I'm gonna knock him on his butt when I see him. No,
I didn't supposed to do that. You're supposed to send them a bunch of fucking fat pills, so that way they have to eat them in front of I don't know. My dad sent me like a whole box of Mally's chocolate. So Mally's is this big candy company around here, a local candy shop. Like, it's amazing. Like, they're really phenomenal chocolate and everything else like that. But he sent me a bunch of shit, and just like the note on it just said "enjoy, ha ha ha," and like I was in boot camp and I had to eat like 12 candy bars by myself while everyone else does push-ups.
Now, I know drill instructors down there. So what I did is, I sent a message to go IT him, which is individual training, which they basically give you some extra workout. But the thing right now with this COVID going on is so my cousin's in Mike company. If you're not in Mike company, you can't walk over there, even another drill instructor. So he goes, no, I can't even walk over there, man. Like, So he's going to go mess them up for me.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, like how that's going on down there.
So since they're already quarantined with their own barracks, they're like all together. And now he's supposed to graduate next Friday, which they canceled it. So now they're going to do a Facebook Live thing to do it. And like from that, he has to stay in the platoon till Monday morning. He goes up to SOI. They're going to get a bus and take him up there. So they're keeping them all together, and they're not allowed to do that because obviously that close, living together, showering together, shitting together. One person gets it, they're all going to get it.
Yeah.
So they're literally quarantined. I know a drill instructor can't walk over to another company if he's not with that company. That's how crazy. Well, it's good for their health, but
yeah, right.
So, but no, I didn't mess with him too much. Crazy. So, which I should have, because he used my rank a lot coming in, and I hope he watches this when you air it, is all the time is his recruiters, which is funny, is he didn't tell him, well, first off, that was a master sergeant, that he had a cousin that was a master sergeant, and then till he wanted his ship date moved up. So he called me, he's like, hey, I want my ship date moved up to like January, but they're telling me I can't ship to like June or July. I was like, okay, man, I'll make a call, I'll get you shipped up. Well, he was told he was going to be a recon. He was on an 0321 contract. He missed the GT score by 1 point. So I didn't call his recruiter. I called the master sergeant, the ops chief. So my rank. So I called his recruiter's boss.
Mm-hmm.
And it was funny. He's like, yeah, he's going to his 03XX. Or, no, he's not. He's on an 0321 is what he's told. He's like, no, man, I'm looking at shit right here. He's an 03XX. Like, I was like, well, dude, give me a minute. So I called my little cousin up and I was like, hey, dude, what are you talking about? You're an 0321. You're not. So he goes, no, I was. I said, okay, well, I told them I'd call him back. You have an hour to get back with me before I start making calls. So he goes up to the recruiter, calls me back. I said, what'd your recruiter say? He goes, first he took me in the back room and goes, why didn't you tell me you had a master sergeant cousin? So that master sergeant called down. And then once he realized he could use my rank, dude, he was calling me every other week. He's all like, can you get this for me? Okay, I heard guys are getting bonuses. Like, can you give me a bonus? I was like, listen, man. I'm like, no, dude, I'm not calling to see if I can get you a bonus. So,
yeah, you got to fuck with him.
Huh? Yeah, no, that's why I called the recruiters. So I was like, hey, I want you to fuck him up and say this is from your master sergeant cousin. Where's he at now?
Yeah.
Like, you don't wear your cousin's rank.
That's awesome.
So, he's a good kid. Like,
good.
He legitimately thought he was a recon dude, but like, he's still going to try. But he was running like 5-6 miles a day and like swimming a mile or two in this pond they have behind our lake behind they have their house. So he's a good kid.
Good.
So, but I should have messed with him more.
Oh yeah.
Dude, this is great to catch up, man.
Oh, definitely.
We did a couple hours here of, just everything from
2 hours.
Yeah. I don't know. It's so.
By the way, I'm gonna need some more 4 roses.
Yeah, because you got to make your video.
Yeah, dude. And I'm not gonna lie, if you notice the ones behind me, those are all empty.
Yeah, I was gonna say they look pretty empty.
Yeah.
He's a refill.
Listen, I don't think you understand.
Awkward.
I have never sent anybody samples. Like, you're
special.
Pretty special.
Yeah. I made you a video.
You
I think
did
it's worth it. No, dude, when I got this, I was like, what the hell is this? And I actually shook it and rattled. What the hell is it? Opened it up, I was like, dude, this is awesome. This is awesome. That's why I took a picture and put it on your guys' website.
It was awesome.
And then,
yeah, it's great, man. And the video is phenomenal.
Actually, I think I only have one left, number 4.
What's number 4?
I
can't remember. Key.
I still got the piece of paper here. Number 4 is Blanton's single barrel, 93 proof.
It's a good one.
Dude, gotta make a review.
I'll do it with that one. My favorite though was the what was it? 1792.
Yeah. I mean, that was whiskey of the year last year, so.
Good stuff, man.
That's actually the one I did a review of.
Yeah, that is.
What'd you send? What were the other ones?
I don't remember.
He actually created a list. There's Kentucky Owl, confiscated. The Weller Antique was actually my favorite.
That's really good.
Weller Antique's good, man.
Yeah, the Weller Antique, number 2 was my favorite. And then the Four Roses, small batch, the Blanton single barrel, 1792, and then the Roses Reserve 8-year.
Ooh.
Oh, no, that's the Western Reserve 8-year.
What did I say?
Roses.
Rewind it. I said
He'll edit it. Don't worry, we'll be fine.
Edit that out. Oh, yeah, the Western Reserve 8-year.
Yeah.
Ian, what'd you drink tonight?
I drink the same thing as you.
What is that?
Cheers.
Colonel Taylor.
So how are you guys actually know it? Can you actually do a review? I know I've seen your reviews before, but like,
so we
can you actually taste the different things?
Can we? I don't know, man. Like,
I don't think we can really pinpoint a lot of crazy shit like a lot of these people do, but I feel like we can tell the difference on a lot of things.
Yeah.
I mean, you can smell things, and
So,
I don't know what we're smelling, but
neither do I.
it's that.
Hence in my video, I was like, it's an oaky taste.
It is. In
I didn't know what oak tastes like.
There's a little bit of banana in there too.
Maybe I'll put that.
maybe a little apricot.
Well, just to give you a hint, is some of the things I'm thinking about is maybe putting my little kids' floaties on and doing it in the bathtub with some floaties.
That'd be
My review.
You got to make
know.
them interesting.
I know. Just the creative minds. You gotta one up the American flag thing.
How
But
can
I do
you?
salute you. I do salute you.
Salute.
So I don't know. Were you ready for that, or were we just like,
No,
what the
not
fuck?
at all. Not at all. It was perfect.
No, because you were acting so like nonchalant about it, like just literally just reviewing the bourbon, and then all of a sudden, all right, well, the salute.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit, okay.
So I do have to tell you, the first time I did that is, so if you see the trophy behind me, that's fantasy football trophy.
Okay.
So I actually did that, and we're supposed to do a live draft, and then everybody backed out and stuff. So I did that. I put actually a suit, tie on, and everything like that. I was like, hey, I'm your commissioner. Welcome to the 2nd annual or 3rd annual, whatever it is. And then at the end, I was like, first, before we start, we are American. So we will start off with the national anthem. So the whole national anthem is just focused right on my crotch, right with these thongs on. So I'm saying that with my American flag thong, and it's just right in my crotch, the whole national anthem. I didn't cut it short. And then I got down, I was like, okay, for the first pick of the 2019,
Yeah,
and I just acted like it was nothing. So,
That's amazing.
but I'll do the next review. The next review will be, what did I say it was?
Blanton's.
Yeah, the Blantons. The next review will be the Blanton.
So
If you notice
Blanton's
it,
is phenomenal.
I have drank some of it though. I saved some.
Oh.
Blanton's is so good.
Oh.
So good.
It's amazing. Very cool. Well, dude.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff.
Jeff, thank you so much for taking.
No, I obviously you're gonna edit this part out, but yeah, I don't know what to say. Like I literally was telling my wife, I'm nervous. I was like, she's like, why are you nervous? I was like, I don't know. Like I've never done a podcast. Like I'll do stupid videos and shit, but I don't know if they want me to what they want me to say or do or so.
Dude.
Here's the thing with the podcast. We started this basically to find other dads that are doing the right thing. We recognized pretty quickly that we had each other to bounce ideas off of each other and like what we're going through. And we thought, well, hey, if we can find other dudes that are doing the same thing, like we can bring some value to the 19-year-old kid that just found out that his girlfriend's pregnant, or the 35-year-old dude that like never wanted kids but found out his wife's pregnant. You know what I mean? Like whoever, if we can bring some value, then that's great. You know?
No,
Yeah.
see that hit home. Being a dad now, I'm a bleeding heart. Like we just literally gave this girl, I sold a mattress on OfferUp.
Mm-hmm.
There's a $100-something mattress, kid's mattress. I was like, just give me $15-20. Never been used. So she's like, I'll give you 10. I was like, cool, I don't care. Just come get it. When they pull up, they're in this broken down like car and get out, and he has like tattoos all over his neck and face and stuff like that. But you can tell they don't have money. So like hit home, and he's like, "Does it get better?" I was like, "What do you mean? Does it get better?"
Yeah.
Like, dude, like, because he has a 6-month-old. I was like, I'd love to like. I don't think I'd bond as much until they start running around. I get to knock them over, but
yeah,
right.
It does. It is tough, man. That initial, like, it's tough for anybody. And like Ian said, like this, what we're doing and trying to help people out and trying to help people realize that, hey, you're not losing your mind, and that's not weird, and like what you're going through isn't crazy. Like, you're not alone. Like, this is, you go through it, and then things get better. I mean, shit could get worse, but I mean, we're all here trying to help each other out, and that's what this is all about.
Because you think stuff like, dude, my 2-year-old, when he's throwing his temper tantrums, like sometimes, like, is this kid autistic? Like
no,
what?
really, no, really, though, man.
I'm being serious. Like, I'm not joking.
No, the stuff that runs through your mind, you're like, my kid is crazy. Like, there's something wrong here. Like, you know what I mean? But you're not alone, and all kids are doing the same shit, man. It's like, you know, there's nothing wrong with your kid. There's nothing wrong with you. This is all what these kids are doing. You know, it's nice to hear other people. Like, when I hear people that we interview, and they tell their stories, I'm like, well, that makes me feel a lot better. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what this is all about. This is what we're trying to do, is help each other out. And we're trying to learn at the same time, because we're still new parents too. I mean, we were only 4 years in. So, I mean,
oh, definitely. No, I remember when I first watched you guys. I loved it and wrote a review for you guys. And then I actually posted on my Facebook for other people.
I appreciate that.
To watch and listen. So, no, definitely. And see you guys, and then watch the bourbon review. And that's where it all started. Is I wrote an email. I said, you know, it'd be cool as while I was watching this, if I taste the same bourbon you guys are, because now I'm just jealous watching you guys drink.
Yeah.
And then that's why Ian.
Go to your local liquor store and buy like different bourbon.
We'll do what you say is, hey, we're going to review these bourbons, and I will.
Okay.
Let me know.
Ian will give you the heads up on the next one.
Yeah, dude. Let me know, man. And then I'll go buy it, and then I can learn. Because I'm interested. I wasn't joking. Like, I'm interested in learning. Like, dude, I taste the difference. I'm like, oh, this one tastes more cinnamony.
Yeah.
I have no palate for anything, but and be like, dude, okay, that's what they're tasting.
You'll find your favorites too, man. There's a lot of good stuff out there.
Yeah, because I'm more of a Scotch.
Yeah.
Kind of drinker. But no, I'll drink anything.
That rare cast is awesome.
Yeah, I got that. That was my going away, dude, from my last unit. I was at First Intel for 13 years doing in one unit.
Really?
So yeah, 13 years. I did so many tours out of there. And literally, dude, I was deployed. That's why, which I didn't tell before, is that's why I got to go learn Mandarin Chinese. Is 2009, I deployed. I got back from that deployment, and I was literally in Vegas, go figure, and I got a call, and it's like, hey, I have a spot on my team. Do you want to deploy? I was like, I just got back, man. I'm on post-deployment. He goes, I know, but I need somebody on my team. And I was like, when you guys leaving? He's like, we're leaving in 3 weeks. I'm like, fuck it, let's do it. So then on top of that, that's why I went out to Afghanistan the first time. When I was still out in Afghanistan, I got back to Leatherneck, the main base, to come home, talking to my company commander, and he's like, hey, man, do you want to take another team out? I was like, yeah, sure. Like, what's going on? Thinking I'm coming back to Pendleton, train them up and leaving. He goes, no, they get on deck tomorrow. I was like, I've already been here. Like, I only had 2 months off between Iraq and Afghanistan the first time. So I was like, okay, like, when do you need an answer by? He goes, I need an answer by tomorrow. I was like, okay, let me think about it. I wasn't married, like single. So I was just like, let me think about it. I'll let you know tomorrow. Came the next day. I said, do you still need me? They said, yes. So that's when I went out to Sangin, which was the worst deployment, obviously. That's when we took all those casualties.
Yeah.
So I ended up doing about 16 and a half months in Afghanistan straight after only having 2 months off from Iraq. So it hit the Secretary of Navy. I had to sign my life away, like blah, blah, blah. And that's when they're like, dude, you're not doing anything. What do you want to do? I said, okay, send me to DLI. And so obviously they hooked me up. That's how I got to go learn. So my job already, you can learn different languages, but I got hooked up because I'm all my deployments.
Right.
But no, so I spent 13 years there, so I left it alone. So the funny thing is, I don't know, well, you can't read it. It's pretty funny. It says, Jeff, you spent more time and done more at this company than most have done in 2 careers. Your impact in the community will be felt for years to come. thanks for being great 0211. Farewells and Fallen Seas. And then the quote on says, who gives a shit if they're Taliban? So that's what a funny story I'll let you guys off with is, so I just don't care. And so we're doing this thing, they have these things called claim days, where we go blow up their houses and we blow up everything, then come to base and we pay them back for it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but there's 2 Taliban dudes watching. And so what happens is they know we pay the people and then they shake them down and take their money. So I told my interpreter, who I still talk to this day, and I was like, hey, let's go over. Let's go and talk to him. He goes, dude. He like talks like that. And like, it's like, dude, they're Taliban, dude. I said, I know the fuck they're Taliban. I said, let's go over there. And like, so that's basically where the quote came from. And as we're walking up, he's scared shitless. So I walk up, obviously I had my M4 on me and I had my M9 on me. And I walk up and I put my armor on the one dude. And Muhammad, my interpreter, is freaking the fuck out. Like, he's like, dude, come on, dude. I said, I don't care. He's like, dude, I guarantee they have guns hidden somewhere. I go, I have a gun on me. Like, we're good, dude. We're good. So I said, so put my arm around the dude. I said, why are you such a bitch? And my interpreter's like, do you really want me to say that? I said, your job is to translate. Ask him why he's such a bitch. And I was like, I wear a uniform. You're not in a uniform. Why are you such a bitch? And like, dude, so that's where the quote came from. And then he kept saying like, dude, they're Taliban. They're Taliban. I was like, I don't give a fuck if they're Taliban. So that's what so my interpreter told the guys. So that's why they put the quote on my middle month.
Awesome.
Yeah, they gave me the rare cask.
That's awesome.
Good shit, man.
There. So
yeah, it's really awesome.
But now it's a good times.
That's awesome.
That's good. It's good too.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, it is really good. All right, dude. This has been amazing. I appreciate you so much just for everything that you taught me and then everything you're doing for your kids and then obviously serving for this long since you're really old. No.
Dude, see the compliments come and then there it is. There,
you gotta get it. You gotta get it in there.
No, honestly, Jeff, you're one of the best dudes I've ever known. I appreciate you and everything that you've ever done for me and for everyone else. So thank you for being a great dad and coming on and taking some time out to do our show.
Yeah, thank you.
Dude, I definitely appreciate it, dude. I was stoked. I was nervous. So no, I appreciate what you guys are doing and getting on here and talking and inviting me. That's awesome. Yeah. I wish I could have met you guys out at the Waste Management Open.
Next
year.
January.
Or actually it's early February, but yeah.
Early February. Okay. Yeah, no, but I definitely appreciate it and thank you.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely, man.
I appreciate you. Thanks so much. Steve, last word.
Yeah, thank you, man. It was awesome. And there's nothing to, we know you were nervous, but this is easy. It's fun just hanging out and drinking.
Yeah. So the more I drink, the less nervous I get.
Absolutely.
So, I appreciate you guys, man.
Good.
Absolutely.
Keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate you. That's it.
Hey,
man.
thanks, man.
Yes.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Have a good one.
All right.
Hey guys, if you love what you just heard or watched, and we know you did, do us a solid and hit that thumbs up. Share with your friends and throw us a comment, literally about anything. Your support legit keeps us going. Oh, and don't forget to give us that 5-star rating. We really appreciate you.